Yo, 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 what is going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday on this somewhat chilly Wednesday out here. It's a little bit cold now, guys, in California, but it's still kind of warm in the daytime. But as the night approaches, it gets very, very cold. So might not be as cold as some of my folks over at the East Coast, but in California, we have our own I guess gauge of what's cold for us. So, but we are here, guys. We are here on episode 89. 11 more episodes, guys, until the grand finale here, man. So big shout outs to everybody that's tuning in, like always. Got a special guest here in the queue.
What up?
Yo, Lou, what's up, man?
You look warmer than I do, bro. Jesus.
It's cold, man. It's cold in here.
Actually, in Pennsylvania right now, it's 40 degrees outside.
Jeez, yeah. Anything in the 40s for me, that's already pushing it.
Yeah.
The 50s is I can tolerate cold weather pretty strongly, but like when anything below 50, like that's like pretty cold for me. So.
Oh yeah, no. It's actually supposed to get in the 20s tonight, actually. So yeah, like 27, 28. Yeah, it's a frost advisory to tomorrow morning. Thank God I don't come into like 11 o'clock Eastern because walking the 2 blocks for work, I'll be like frozen.
Yeah, no, I can't do that, man.
It's not every day. I'm still technically this is what I wore to work today. I'm still wearing it because it's still cooling here. I guess they turn on the the heat's controlled by the building itself. It's not controlled by me. And yeah, the only one. I guess.
Excuse me, my lighting is a little bit messed up tonight, so
all good, man. I could hear you loud and clear. That's
all right.
That's the important thing. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Not much. Just popping by for a few minutes before I have to head out to work. So
yeah, I'm pretty good with cold. I think if you get me settled in. Because, like, when I wake up in the morning, I'm in my car, and it's, like, 43. I'm like...
Yeah. I agree with you, Bay Area. 40s around where I live is, like, summertime once it hits about late November into, like, January.
It's nuts.
I'm not even kidding you.
No, he's right. He's right.
Uncle Lou can tell you about that one. Like, where do you live? Pennsylvania?
Eastern Pennsylvania, so, yeah.
So, yeah, you understand that, like, 40 degrees come about January, February, we're begging for that. At least.
Yeah, it's a heat wave over here.
Yeah.
Yo, heat wave over here is like 110. That's like a heat wave.
Well, it does get hot up in where I'm at, too. Like, we're talking 90s to 100 during the summertime, but.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever gone down 40 here in California. I think that's probably going to be the coldest that we'll see. I mean, if you go to the mountains, you'll see some snow up there, but it's nothing compared to like getting snowed in. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
See, you lived in South Dakota, bro. That's not California. That's completely different.
Yeah, and I'm not that far from South Dakota, so I understand.
Where you at, Jake?
I'm in Northwest Iowa.
Iowa.
Nice. What up? What up?
The state of Several Islands. From Davenport, Iowa.
So if you guys are looking at the title tonight, man, this is I try to do these open lives at least once a month. I know we're November 1st, and I wasn't able to do one in October, so kicking it off this somewhat chilly November with a open live, man. So literally anything, within the guidelines, of course. This is a pretty open live, whether you talk about sport, you want to talk about sports, sneakers, toys, hats, whatever, wrestling.
Considering 2 of the 3 of us are wearing hockey jerseys, I figured easiest question is like, I know
I'm not wearing a hockey jersey. I'm just wearing a hoodie.
I'm going to say 2 out of the 3 of us.
Yeah, 2 out of the 3
right now. Yeah.
I can't do it. I just got to say, let me rant real quick. Like, the freaking Sharks are 0-8. Like, 0-8-1. I'm not even like proud of my team right now. We effing suck. I know this. and I know the only glimmer of proudness that I would share with the Sharks is that Joe Thornton is officially retired in the NHL. I've been trying to get the Sharks to see my posts. Obviously, I don't know if they will, but I've been fighting this since day one, man, that they should retire Jumbo Joe's number up in the rafters at SAP because they did that for Marlowe. Marlowe played.
If there's anybody who's hurt, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree there. Like Jumbo Joe should be up in the rafters. If
For
not
sure.
right away, like pretty soon here. Like I could see that within the next couple of years happening. If not, yeah, then what are they doing? Because Jumbo Joe, in a lot of respects, was just as intricate as Marlowe. It's just Marlowe was basically there most of
go hand in hand. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think between Jumbo Joe, Marlowe, and Pavelski was probably the one that was there the least compared to the two, but he did a lot for the organization, despite us not winning, a Stanley Cup. Like he played, he gave out his heart and soul for the franchise before moving to Dallas. But like the whole Jumbo Joe thing and Marlowe, like I think his number should be retired in San Jose.
I mean, those two were the cornerstones of that franchise throughout their playoff runs. Yeah, I know it wasn't disappointment, and but I think they were the reason they were in the playoffs in the first place. You know what I mean? They made those runs to begin with because of those two. So I totally get that. You know what I mean? Like, and who's the current? I know I'm blanking on his name. He used to coach the Rangers. Isn't he still the coach of the Sharks now?
Who's his name too?
Yeah.
You're talking about Omeyer or
no? That was like the guy who was he was
David
the coach.
Quinn?
Yeah.
David Quinn.
David Quinn. Yep.
David Quinn. He's terrible. He happens to be the coach in between Vigneault and what's his name? Gallant in between.
You can suck for a team, but bro, like you got to
players, man. He's
man. You got to give respect. I mean, that's like saying Allen Iverson never played. He never won a NBA Finals, but should his number be retired? Absolutely.
Yeah. Nobody should wear number 3 in Philly.
Because then that means that you're dictating championships to determine your legacy. I don't think that's always the case. I think some players, unfortunately,
when it comes to that, it's a double-edged sword, man. I mean, 30's retired by the Rangers, and he should have won a Stanley Cup, but let's not get into that one.
Marlowe's number is retired already. He's the first San Jose Shark that had his number retired for the organization, which is great. But I think they got to put Jumbo Joe's up there.
By the way, Lou, is that a Panarin you're wearing?
Yes, it is. Actually, this was my first prime green when they first introduced them a couple years ago. But I customized the A on the front, and I don't know if you see it, but see the number 7. This is the Gabert patch on it.
Nice.
So this basically looks like the playoff run from 2022. So I like to think this is like a replica of the. This is basically the replica of Panarin's game-winning goal.
Jones Street TV. My main team for NFL is the 49ers. Sorry,
I got this bad boy
wearing an Eagles jersey in
the reverse. The same one. Like I said, I added the A2 on that one as well.
Yeah, this is the reverse retro. Like I said, my writing's kind of jacked up, so I apologize.
I don't know, Sam.
That's the new one, right?
Pretty.
No, this is the reverse retro 2.0.
Yeah, from last season. Yeah, they should have brought those back.
Yeah. By the way, Rez,
this is a nice segue.
Yeah. Did you have a chance?
It's a nice segue.
Thirds that the Rangers are coming out with.
The what?
The new thirds that the New York Rangers are coming out with.
I didn't see it. What are they dropping? What's it look like?
They haven't been announced yet. They're being leaked.
They've been leaked.
So half-assed.
In my opinion, Lou, they should be the Stadium Series jersey.
Hold on, let me highlight your screen.
There you go. I know it's a glare in there, but
Can
you look? What is that? What is that? A crest?
It's this. On the,
it's a
navy blue.
Really?
It's a navy blue jersey. It's a navy blue
Okay.
jersey, but the thing
Yeah,
is,
Reg,
though,
just
again,
type in New York Rangers third leak or something like that on
yeah, it's
line. You'll be able to find them.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am looking for the white niche key. And which reminds me, man, I was so mad because I was at work today and I was watching an item that was on my list. And I got that notification on eBay like 14 minutes before it ends. And then I was like, okay, I gotta watch it. 3 minutes before the listing ended, I get called to do something at my job, which took me 4 minutes. So literally when I finished it, I missed it by 1 minute, and I was like, God dang it. And it ended so cheap. One person bid it. I was like, I should have just placed the bid.
Damn. Yeah,
I
you
felt
would've
that
won it.
way. Yeah, I had a similar story to that on eBay. There are a few made in Canada old style, like the All-Star jerseys from 2018 that were going for like under $100 each. So I dropped a few bids. By the time it ended, it was only at like 130 for each of them. Which, if you know anything about made in Canada hockey jerseys, anything below about retail of a prime green is like jumpable. Like, 230 American and below is usually kind of my target range.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
big time.
yeah. This one that I missed ended at $25, and I was so mad. Somebody came up. I was
and of course, you're like, I have to take care of this right now. You could give me like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
What if I was in the bathroom, dude? Like, come on, man.
Here, I don't know if we still see it, but the numbers are plain white. It's a navy blue jersey. The striping on the sleeve versus the striping on the hem are different. Had they gone more consistent on either side, had they done the striping on the sleeve on the hem or vice versa, probably would look a little better. Because that's something the Rangers consistently do. The striping here matches the bottom, and vice versa. So, again, it just looks half baked. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The only cool thing on it, the back of the neck of the jersey, like that part you don't really see when you're wearing them. It says blue shirts with a red background, and it has like the tiling on the sides. There were rumors like, it's just the top from a Broadway show, the lights from a Broadway show, or like the tiling from the MSG. No, that's like, it almost looks like subway tile, and it's kind of funny because MSG literally sits on top of a subway station, Penn Station in New York. So kind of a nice tribute. That's a cool thing that's one of the cool things from it that I saw. Have they done red drop shadow number, drop shadow with the white numbers? That would have been kind of cool. But again, another navy blue alternate for the Rangers. That's all they ever freaking worn, with the exception of Reverse Retro 2.0. That's all they've done. It's done navy, or navy accents. So.
Or the Lady Liberty jersey, which I mean, those were nice. I will say that. But how would you feel?
I was hoping
one thing I'd be kind of interested to see is if they inversed the Ranger, like make the jersey red with blue Rangers down the front, how that would look.
Like the old starter. The old starter,
fashion,
kind of
like the starter fashion, just literally inverse the red with the blue and the blue with the red. Curious to see how that would go. I think
a lot of Rangers fans would dislike that, mostly because they associate red with Canadians or the Blackhawks. I mean,
fair.
It's original. It's the original six thing. You know what I mean? Like, especially the Devils. I mean, the interstraight rival. So they associate the red with teams they dislike, and that's something that even when the rumors of 2.0 being, there could be a red Liberty jersey, a lot of the fan base was like, no, don't do that, no. So
what's
I was going to be Royal, so I was happy when
you guys have in the World Series.
I'm honestly not even paying attention, but it's probably going to be
barely.
That's crazy. Well, I don't know, man, because the Phillies were up like 3-0 in the series, and then or was it 3-1?
Like 3-1.
They went back. They were back. They went back to Philly 2-0, I think, and they blew it.
It was something. It was a little more back and forth than.
Yeah. I'm just happy the Astros are in it.
Yeah.
I'm just happy Houston's not in it. So says the Yankee fan.
Sam Urbano in here. He's a Houston guy. so he's probably gonna
Yeah, I
say
know.
something.
I will
know,
say
I know.
though,
It's coming. I know.
I will say though, probably those Rangers jerseys are still better than about 90% of the city jerseys that came out from the NBA this year.
Oh, big
I
time.
got the
Big time.
yeah, I got an email about that, how they're coming soon. So if anybody's looking for city editions for the NBA, keep your eyes open because I think they're going to be dropping in a few days here.
I rather still get that alternate Rangers jersey before we're
I told you, Uncle Louis.
Hey, I'm a
Yo,
hater. Okay, hit me with
King,
a
what's good,
My
man?
best friend's an Astros
Anyway,
fan, so he
so.
knows.
Yeah, I'm more of a
Not
hockey
much.
jersey head anyway. So,
What's going on?
Chilling.
How was your Halloween, man? I saw you and your son he went as Miles Morales. That was dope.
Yeah, I have a picture of him. I didn't post it, but like, you know, he's standing there with like his mask off. You know, so there's some other. My wife posted. You know, his mom posted a picture of him. So we had a good time. Like 45 minutes. The neighborhood we live in, it was like everybody was like, "Oh, take 2 pieces of candy. Take 2 pieces of candy. Take 2 pieces." So for him, like 45 minutes, he's like,
Sounds
"Oh,
like a
I'm
nice
done."
guy.
But it wasn't so much about the bag being done. He don't like cold. So even though he had on like long johns, you know, pants and top,
Right.
you know, and he had on the hoodie, he was like, "Yeah, it's time to go." So as long as he was happy, he was happy. So
That's what's up, man.
Where
there
you
was a
located?
little girl. There was a little girl that recognized my outfit. Her mom was like, "Look, look, it's Naruto." She was like, "That is not Naruto. That is Minato."
Straight up, dude, dropping knowledge. That's hella funny.
I turned around. I said, "What do you know about Minato, little girl?" She's like, "I watched the show. I know all about Minato."
Everybody was used to tell me that I should go as Rock Lee because I had the hair, I had the little bowl haircut. They're like, "Oh, you should go as Rock Lee." I was like, "Rock Lee." And I thought
Yeah, when we first went out too, there was like a dude he like whispered it. He was like, "Naruto," like as he walked by me.
that's hilarious.
It was dope. I seen I don't know if you've watched Demon Slayer. There was like a younger girl. She was dressed up as Nezuko. That's supposed to be the main character's sister.
Okay. Yeah, I don't watch Demon Slayer, but I know about it because a lot of people around me talk. That and Attack on Titan, everybody's telling me, "Yo, Rez,
I haven't. The problem with Attack on Titan is it's too much like time skip. Like the first season was great, and then it was like years between the second season, and then they didn't have as many episodes to make, so they're crunching so much like into like a small time period where with Demon Slayer, the first season was like 24, 25, something like 24 to 26 episodes, but then every season after that's only been like 12. So it's kind of like you know, you're not getting as much, but visually is one of the best like visual animes ever.
Right.
Ever. So I've been watching it and I don't even wait for it to hit like because eventually Netflix gets it, but I got a website I use, so whenever it drops in Japan, I'm like the day after watching it. It's good. It's good.
That's what I've been hearing too. So as far as like, I just kind of want to throw some Jersey topics out there because I know a lot of specifically, you know, with the NFL, you know, kicking the Fuse jerseys off, and then even with the city editions coming here, like how do you guys feel about the jerseys right now? Like, are you guys feeling anything? Are you guys not? Are you guys kind of just laying low? Where are you guys at with it?
Well, for me, I'm more on the NHL kick right now just because of the last year of Adidas and stuff like that. I'm trying to snipe up as many of those as I can until I know,
you don't know
more
what Fanatics are gonna do.
Going to be like. Yeah, exactly. And really, in the NBA, like city jerseys, I found maybe 3 or 4 that I'd be like, okay, I'd actually get. Otherwise, it's just like The problem is with like programs like that, and where I kind of like the NHL, is like they have like these specialty like city edition and stuff like that, but they come out every year versus when you have stuff that's like the reverse retros and stuff like that, which come out every so often. So therefore there's more, like they actually have a chance to design and get new things going, when as opposed to like every year when you have to come up with brand new jerseys. It's kind of difficult to do that at times when you have only so many options and you only have like a year to get everything, because you need to have a few of them ready to go to give out to, like get the press, get, the release and all that stuff while you're still building them. So you only have so
I think
much
this is
time
the
to
season that has
really
the most.
go to the web.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of leaks when it comes to the jersey fandom altogether. Have you guys noticed that in all sports, not just basketball, but I'm saying in all sports altogether, there's like these things are leaking a lot faster than they used to.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well,
just all
I've
the city
noticed
jerseys,
that
Rangers third, and now just seems like it's gone like that altogether. This like especially the last 2 years.
uh it seems like, now they're trying to keep like the association, the icon and the statements as like and just have the city. But I look at it like this. Over there in Europe, soccer teams get like new jersey sets every year sometimes. And they get like 4 jerseys. So, either you're gonna hit or you're not gonna hit when it comes to some stuff. But I don't know. Sometimes some of the city stuff, people just don't. One, I would like to see somebody's art skills because a lot of people be complaining about designs, but probably could only draw like a stick figure, and they want to talk about this and that. And then sometimes, like if you're not from like an area, you wouldn't sometimes necessarily understand like the city edition. I'll give you a prime example. Like they're using them again, but like the Nationals, the whole cherry blossom, but that is very huge out here. They literally sold out in the stadium last year when they released everything. Like the lower tier to the authentics, the blank authentics, the stuff just went. But like my wife did it. They have a cherry blossom like half marathon. They have a whole like there's a whole big giant event on the cherry blossoms in DC. So like I only know because I live down here now. So like if I never came down here, I wouldn't know. So like sometimes if you're not from those places, you wouldn't necessarily understand sometimes like what the cities are. So
But
sometimes
that's
it
the difference
takes
with baseball, though. Baseball has just the one City Connect. Once they set their sights on that City Connect jersey, that's what they stick with. They may do variations on it uniform wise altogether, wearing different parts of different uniforms or whatever, but the jersey itself is consistent. In the NBA, you're seeing a City jersey every year. And I think maybe just slowing it down, maybe every other season, might help creatively to have a better idea what to do with it instead of having to roll them out constantly. Like Jake said, some of these jersey design concepts sometimes take a while, especially between you have so many cooks between the management of the franchise and let's say Nike/Fanatics, whoever's doing them, and whoever the designers within those teams are. You have so many people working collectively to come up with something and having to come up with it every year. I think you're starting to see the the output. You're starting to see like creatively, I think they're stagnant. And like if
I
you kept
think
it
one of
within
the
the realms
issues.
of just keeping one, maybe it'll help a little more, or just do it every other season.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but you're gonna have. I feel even when teams just sat on like what is it, the Rockets. What this started off like Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming. Like after the big Rocket, even into like what Harden, that ugly ass like stripes on the side jersey was so boring, and they wore that shit for like well over a decade. So there's times where teams had jerseys, and it's just like the identity just was the jersey was crap, and he just kept wearing it season after season after season. And sometimes I think like when I had posted what the 94 95 Atlanta Hawks, some jerseys get lost in like generations, because when you think of Dominique, you think of the whole Hawks, and then going down to the side you also have Spud Webb, but then you think of the 90s, you only really think of the big Hawk because
Yeah,
it's so
the ones
iconic.
the ones in between are so underrated.
And then
They're
sometimes
underrated.
there's designs that are underrated, and it's like, oh, if you never see it. So like, I know when True Custom had made the Steve Smith for me, people were like, oh, I forgot they even wore these.
Oh, I didn't.
And they even had, for some people, it's like, stuff gets lost in translation. There's some stuff that some people like, from the 90s, and I don't. Like the Pacers, I love the Flojos, but the jerseys they wore after
Oh, the
the
pinstripes.
pinstripes, that's not my.
Mhm.
I don't like that generation of
I think they're
Pacers
overrated
jerseys.
because of the success they had in wearing those.
Yeah,
You know,
because they went to the finals, they had successful teams. But like for me, I'd have to say I have three city jerseys like I would like to get as soon as they drop. The
like right
one, yeah, the one a lot of people don't like, but I do. I like some of these brands. I like Cause, so I love the whole Nets Cause collab. I like the Jazz, the whole mountain theme. They're going back to it,
now, I like that one actually. It's not too
and
Is
bad.
that their
then
city though, or is that the classic edition?
no, the
No, that's
classic
the city.
edition is to the Pistol Pete era of the
Oh,
Jazz.
snap. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically the mountain jersey, but instead of saying Jazz, it says Utah, which they never did.
Yeah,
Did
and
those
then it
in
has
Utah.
like a repetitive like mountain theme to it, but and it's also gives you the '90s because it kind of has like the what's the word,
See, that's creative. It's
gradient,
almost like a reverse retro, actually.
Yeah.
yeah, gradient to it, and then I'm trying to think what's the other one is gonna be. I love the Suns.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Vale?
It's a whole like some people. It's just I've been to Phoenix. I lived in SoCal, so like the pinstripes on the side is that like SoCal, that like southwestern low rider themes. Then it's a continuation of using the gradient of the orange and the purple, and instead of just putting the valley, you're touching in with the Hispanics out there by doing LYA on on
I think
the jersey itself.
with the Suns, I have to agree because I think they've been consistent with their like jerseys being on point. Because like when they did the Valley, even the one they did last year with like the Native American, that vibrant blue, I got it. I thought it was dope.
Seems like they have settled on the
Here they
branding.
do it again.
I mean, but I just feel that it was dope, the tribute to it, but they didn't do much. They just changed their statement edition jersey from the year prior, and then
Right.
just put the statement jersey I actually love. I have both the Valley and the statement from the 75th season, so
Mhm.
I love that. The only team I could say that really like had a consistent city edition, and then this year fell flat on their face is the Nuggets. The Nuggets shit 5280, whatever. What the heck? Usually
yeah,
that
dude.
the Nuggets, I just was like, geez, when I seen it. Being that I grew up outside Philly, I love their city edition as well. The whole touch of, the Reading terminal down there and all the like little. If you've been down there and gotten food from there and stuff like that, you would understand. It was like, I know some people didn't like it, but I know Neil did when it happened. The TTP, the Trust the
Yeah.
Process, with
Boathouse,
Boathouse
yeah.
Row,
Mhm.
things like that. So they've done some dope stuff. You're gonna have hit or miss, and then some people it's also like when you get the jersey in hand. Sometimes it's hard when you just see like a concept or you just see it on like a dummy model. Then when you actually like see it with the player on, and then sometimes it might just be like a magical season for you and your team that year. So it's gonna be a jersey that you want because it's like, oh, I remember, oh, they went to the finals, they won, so it's gonna hold a little bit more
Yes,
sentiment.
75th for the NBA, Dub
Yeah.
Well,
Nation
case
with the
in point, I
diamond.
have a jersey that it's just like that. What you were saying there. This one, the Heritage Calgary Flames jersey from this year. This jersey, like when I got it, I mean, this thing was it's absolutely beautiful because it's a felt logo with the C. And like I say, my lighting absolutely sucks in here, so I apologize for that. But it's just like how they did the off white with the sleeves and stuff like that. I mean, in my opinion, both of the, and then of course this too, Battle of Alberta. You know,
I like that. That's
that's
cool.
the case of one of those jerseys where I get it in hand and stuff like that, and it just absolutely blows the pictures and stuff out of the water.
Isn't the Calgary C like chain stitched on that jersey or something
Yeah,
like that?
It
Yeah,
is.
that's what I'm saying. It has an old timey hockey feel. Like both jerseys did, like their tributes to both. Like
Oh, yeah.
when they're going for, they nailed it 100%.
In fact, hint at an upcoming pickup video within the next few weeks or so.
Nice. Can't wait to see that, man. Can't wait to see that. But when it comes to the city, like I said, with basketball, I think for every El Valle jersey, then you got heat culture coming at you. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's the problem right there.
I get it because like the players talk about it. Like even I think in a recent podcast, Iguodala was talking about it, and he was like, "Oh, it's real," but but sometimes people, even so, they just love their team, so no matter what, they're gonna grab it. So like I won't even lie, I thought last year's Sixers City Edition was gonna kind of sit, and then like a week later after it dropped, it was like the Embiids were gone, and I was like, yeah, that's what I get for thinking, like this is just gonna sit where other was just,
that's where I'm at with this year's City because like with the Warriors,
as much as I'm hating on the Rangers alternates, I'm gonna be personally lying with those things anyway.
That's the thing with like these cities because like I feel like now like I feel obligated to complete like all the city editions moving forward for the Warriors because that's my squad. But like some of those jerseys, I'm not feeling. Like the one this year, like the black and yellow, I think it's just kind of been, it's been run to the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Well, last year ran it into the ground with the whole rose and all this. I like the oddity of it, like the way it looks. I just wish it had a better color scheme than like black and yellow, because it's like black and yellow is not like an identifiable color for the Warriors. So at least with the 75th season, you had the touches, the yellow and blue. So it was better incorporated than just black yellow.
It's definitely more of like I think like a fashion jersey type thing, and that's kind of from what the city editions look like. That's kind of like what they're doing now. I think it's a little more gimmicky rather than traditional. Like that's why you have the icons and the associations. Before, you had the home and away, and then occasionally you'd have an alternate, But nowadays you got the association, you got the icon, you got the statement, you got the classic, you got the cities, like. And then they were out for a while. They were doing the earned editions. You remember those? Those were also in the mix too. But
that's why, like last year when the Bucks released their statement edition, I had to buy it because the year they won the finals was essentially the same jersey. It just was green, green with the cream. And when I saw that was I was like, yo, as soon as it drops, I was like, I'm buying that motherfucker. So that's what happened. I was working. I look on eBay and I saw someone like wanted like $450. I was like, they dropped? I was like, let me go to the Bucks team shop. Okay, buy now. Click. and bought it. I was like, I'm not waiting. I'm not.
You know what I hate about the team shops? You can't use pay in 4.
No, well, it depends. It depends on what team shops. I know the Bucks and Mavs. No,
they don't do it. Yeah,
and there's one other, but I know like Miami because I did that for their 75th season. I think Phoenix does it as well. Yeah, Phoenix, the Just Sports, and there's another one I just can't remember. So
that's why I missed out because I wanted to get the Luka and the Giannis cities from last year, but I was like, man, I can't dish out freaking. That's like almost $500.
Here's something funny about the Luka. My wife was gonna give me tickets to go see the Cowboys play the Deadskins here, and then she was like, "Do you want tickets to the game or a jersey?" I was like, "Yeah, let me get that Luka jersey."
It's a dope ass jersey. I think it's one of their best city editions that they've done, but like they didn't. I mean, obviously the season they didn't win.
And that's like for me. I know some people don't like the Cavs jersey, but I like it. I just wish they would finally go away from like the land. I'm tired. Like I'm kind of getting annoyed with the whole. I
They're
get
running that
it.
to the ground.
I wish they would have put like Cleveland or like Cavaliers like back on instead of doing like the land for like the second year in a row. But I still love the colorway. I love the trim. I like the uniqueness of the like number fonts and stuff like that. So it's dope. I just think like the land is getting like
Yeah, it's being run to the
time to move
ground.
on.
Right, right.
Well,
Yo, Mighty, what's up, man?
hey, how's it going, everyone? You remember years ago, Cleveland did it, and I think Dallas did it too. They let the fans try to design the jersey. It's like I'd almost like to see one of these years for the city editions if the fans could try to design, and it comes down to some voting or something, and or at least have a hand in it. Maybe not
Bingo.
exactly design the whole thing, but at least have a hand. And okay, this is what we'd like to see. Yeah, I came into the conversation a little late, but I did make mention in my more recent YouTube vid. I kind of was talking about the city editions, and I also went under the assumption that I think it would be cool if they. I think doing it every year, and as we all know, I mean, I'm a Jersey head. I love variety. I don't mind the way some people mind the look at just different jerseys every year. It just gives it more variety. It keeps things fresh. But my only concern with it, and I liked how the NHL did it when they were doing their reverse retro, because they didn't do it every year. They did it every other year. And it's almost like it gave those teams and whoever was designing these things more of a chance to, okay, this is what we did. What can we do better? Where can we do this better? What can we change? What can we do? And it gave them more time to create something. And there were hits and misses, but I really loved all the what we got last year out of the slate of reverse retros. And some teams kind of just did the similar kind of thing, but others like really put more oomph into it. And I'd almost like to see that with the NBA. I'd almost like to see the NBA go every other year with the city editions. I would keep it going, but every other year, and maybe that next year in between, they still wear the ones they had from the year before. That way, then,
Like Minnesota.
right? That way, then the fans can continue to get them if they missed out on the first slew of them or whatever one year. Then they come back and they have another chance to get them. And it also gives these teams more time and chance to improve on where they should improve on, if they so choose to do so.
Not at least these
Do any of you guys know the process, like, of how they choose who makes the city edition for the team? Like, is there like an application, or how does that get
I
determined?
honestly have no idea.
Yeah.
I think they supposedly they work with somebody in the organization. A whole bunch of hoopla. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like if you're after seeing like some of these companies like Mitchell and Ness, you got people who nothing against it. More power to them. Just go to college, they get a degree, and you know what I'm saying. There's no. I get business is business, but sometimes it's dope when you actually have someone that's into it, other than just like this is more so a paycheck.
Passion.
Oh, sure.
Someone who's
But
passionate
I
about
think
it.
I think that the MLB, if there was a perfect way of doing it, I think they really did it with their City Connects, because they only pick a certain amount of teams a year. Okay, this slate of teams is going to do it. Then the next, then the next, and the next. But every year, those teams continue to wear those jerseys. So you still have more of a chance as a fan or a collector. If you missed out on a few, like I got a few this past year that I missed out on previous years because they sold out right away. But once the next season comes along, they come back into stock because the teams are going to wear it again. It gives you more of a chance to see the team in them for a prolonged period of time. And also, if you're a collector, it gives you more opportunities to get them at regular retail prices, not have to worry about, I missed it. Now I have to pay the big bucks, on eBay or whatever, And I just think that it really worked. And I'm still hoping my Phillies put out a really good one next year. But, and I do think at the same time, as a fan, like I see other teams doing it, I'm like, man, I wish the Phillies were coming out this year. But at the same time, I understand why, they're doing it the way they're doing it, because they're giving these teams a chance to highlight and showcase their look, their jersey, for that season, and then the other teams can continue to wear theirs from previous years, but it just really flows nicely. And if there was a blueprint on how to do it, I would do it that way. I would do exactly how the MLB did it. I would do that for the NBA for the city editions. I would even say if the NHL wants to do reverse retro or something similar again, they might consider doing something like that, because again, it gives these teams that wear them a little more chance to promote, and this is what it is, and it gives other teams more chance to think, okay, this is what worked or this is what didn't work, instead of just throwing it all out there on the canvas. At least that's my opinion on it.
100% agree with that one, actually. Yeah, it's again give more of a creative flow when it comes to, instead of having to have being a deadline, because sometimes it feels like some of these city jerseys for the NBA, it feels like they're meeting a deadline versus being creative.
Well, sometimes there's a clear miss. What is it? The Jazz had to rebrand their jerseys because when they dropped that, well, ironically, I wound up liking the white jersey, I think, which was their association. But like the fanfare, like majority of the fans hated that the colors that they wore last year. So there was like within like a month they had a video. They already had in that video they showed they had like a hint showing you what the classic edition was going to be and what the city edition was going to be at the beginning of the season last year for Utah. Like they were already back in the lab cooking because the jerseys that they wore last year were so hated by the fans. But ironically, I'm pretty sure years later, like, there'll be like a collector because it was a one year we hated them so damn much, and it might come back like the ironically, which is Love Now, which I think is y'all guys alternate with like the Phillies, the Saturday Night Special. When they wore it in '79, the fans hated it. And the Phillies never wore it again until recently.
Yeah. Or like the '90s Rockets. Everybody loves the '90s Rockets jerseys now. Those things were terrible in the '90s. And we're called the
some of the jerseys that people complained about back in the day are ones everyone wants today,
Oh, yeah.
And I think the other point I just wanted to say real quick about, if you spaced out when these things come out, is the one issue I do kind of have with everything coming out all at once, like tomorrow, all the city edition jerseys are going to be released, right, for sale. And it's almost like that mad dash rush. I like it how the MLB did theirs, because that this team's coming out this time, that one's coming. It's like you're prepared for it, and you don't have to feel like you have to grab every single team that you want. It's spread out, it's spaced out, so you can kind of you can get this month, you can get that month, you could if you so choose. Whereas the way they do it now, everything's out, and then the thing gets flooded with people, and a lot of them are resellers. Let's face it, right? Yep. The fans aren't really going and going nuts. It's all these resellers grabbing them and throw on eBay. But it comes up the works, and then you get that FOMO. I mean, you really get that when you're looking at all these jerseys. Oh, I want these 5, and I have to grab it now. It's like this mad dash that it's almost like you could do without if they would just spread it out a little bit.
I just know from like the last couple of years, especially this past season, since like Nike did a real good job in like restocking teams. I know some teams like Cleveland, I missed out at the beginning of the year when they dropped Donovan Mitchell. And then near the end of the season there was like a restock. Remember, me and my wife were out eating and I got the text message. And I went right away and I bought it, and then they had a restock of his other jerseys. So I know, like, personally for me, I'm going to probably miss out on the Cleveland's first drop of the city edition, but when there's a restock later on in the season, that's when I'm going to snag it. So, like, I think, Cleveland does paying for it too. Huh?
Do they restock every team at least once or no? Or is it just like...
No, but there was a decent amount because I remember people were posting in the group like, "Oh, there was a restock," because like the statement editions for like Phoenix, there was a restock on those. Like Cleveland, it was like a whole restock because you remember Donovan got traded like right before the season started, so it was like they didn't have too much stock when they first did his drop, and even the second time around they didn't have a lot, but they still had a second drop of his stuff. So it still gave you an opportunity to get it. So teams, and then like other stuff, other teams, it was like they did it, but some people's stuff, it was like, people didn't really care too. And then, certain players like John Moran acting a fool, kind of people just wanted to drop his stuff because there was, loss in value because of his, you know,
Antics.
yeah, I
Yeah.
want to play with guns on Instagram. So,
Yeah, that.
I think. I
and then
mean,
and then others, it's like you gotta just get, because if you don't, you're gonna miss out. Like I was gonna do a paying for like the Luca, the All-Star game, 75th season. There was one on eBay for 240, and I was waiting to get paid, and then he had that 60-20-11 game, and
sold out.
Goodbye that.
it was gone, and I haven't seen it under like 3 and change. It was at like 240, and now I haven't seen it less than like 3 and change. So luckily, I was able to finally get the LeBron of the
That's how they. That's how
75th
they get
season.
you, man. That's the same. The same thing happened to me with Steph Curry, the All-Star jersey, where I forgot, he like went off, but he made like his history that night. Like, I don't like the jersey. I bought it purely for the aspect of, the Warriors and historical, aspect of it. I will say that jersey is very detailed. One of the most detailed All-Star jerseys I've ever seen. But
It pops. You want to talk about a jersey that that fucking shines when the light hits it? That is a shiny ass jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but see, when it comes to purchases, though, like you bought it because it's a moment in time, right? Like it's commemorating a moment.
Yeah, that's strictly what I bought it for.
It's not particularly pleasing for you. It's not one of those deals where like, oh, this is a great looking jersey, just because it reminded you of something.
I can appreciate the details on the jersey, but the details and the historical aspect of it, the significance it had for Curry's career. But as far as me wearing it, like, oh, this is gonna be what I'm gonna wear for sure this week. That's like one of the last things I would think about wearing in my collection, to be quite honest with you. So
I gotta bounce, so I gotta get off to work and stuff. So I'll probably chime in and like comment when I get to work and stuff. So
all right, Jake. Oh, by the way, shout out to your Vikings, man, getting a new quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, it couldn't have been the. Let's put it this way: there's a lot worse options, and as a Vikings fan, I'm actually not that mad, or like, because if all else fails, we didn't give up anything. But if this works out, then it's still a good move either way, in my opinion, because you never know. We didn't give up a second round pick for Montez Sweat. Let's just put it that way. When Chase Allen got a third.
Shout outs to Cam Bynum though, man. That's my guy, dude. He's Filipino.
Hey, man. All righty, well, take care, fellas. I'll be back. I'll probably down when I get
back. Man. Take it easy.
Have
a good night, bro. Yeah,
I actually like the 75th jersey. I just was like, as soon as those got dropped, it was like, Madhouse. They just sold out. So it was like hard to. Yeah. 75th season.
They flew off the shelves.
It was like I wanted Luca, and then there was one online. The dude did like an offer. I forgot to buy it. Then I inboxed him. Was like, yo, I'll pay you. I paid a little over retail. If you look at like tax, shipping, I essentially paid retail for the jersey, so I wasn't mad. Because, like I said, the majority of those jerseys are like 300 or more.
A question about the Warriors jersey, Rez. The curved San Francisco font, is that in homage to that famous street, or is it
so that's what Bay Area
bridge in the wind? I mean, what's going on?
Allegedly, that's what Bay Area told me, but it's not confirmed. I still am waiting, because I know, like, for the Warriors, not even just with the Warriors, but with the NBA, they're pretty good at like showcasing their upcoming cities or whatever jerseys they're featuring this year. I would imagine so, but they haven't posted anything on their website or social media.
One of the ones they release it, they may actually mention why each one represents, or at least their teams are gonna talk about what each city jersey represents to them.
Well, if
Some
you
of
look,
them, I think some of them did. Like I know the Sixers did with the with theirs with the Reading Terminal Market, as Nostalgia Boy alluded to. But I was wondering about the Warriors because the side trim almost looks like it has a Golden Gate Bridge kind of homage to, and then the curvature of the San Francisco almost is like someone said it was because of that road, that famous curvy road, and that's what they were trying to do. But I personally wish they would get away from the black and gold. I
have no idea.
Well, if you look at like the Nets, their city editions are more so like collabs or homages. Like they did the Basquiat's.
Right.
They had the Coogee, basically the Biggie jerseys. So for them to continue, I guess some people haven't picked up on it. To go and do this collab with Cause. So I'm like, I want to get that jersey, and then I know what is it? POB. He took a picture in front of that giant ass Cause statue that's out there in LA. So I'm like, I need to get there with that jersey.
Should. I mean, I went out there too, but I haven't been to that Cause statue.
Well, who would you get on the Nets though, Nostalgia Boy? Would you go with?
I really hate that they're giving him the back seat once again. But whenever he's gotten the opportunity, I really like Cam Thomas. And a few times where he's gotten in the lineup, he shows that he could ball. But it's like the Nets just don't want to let him. So for me, it's going to be like Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
But I would love a Cam Thomas. But they just keep like sit on the bench.
Yeah.
Damn. Warriors are playing the Kings right now.
Well, that's the other one I like is the Kings. I like the Kings.
I like that one a lot too.
It's almost like that's their it's almost like back when they did the mixtape edition stuff, it's almost like it's kind of like has that vibe to it, but it's because they're celebrating their 100th anniversary this year, which is crazy to think of, but for that franchise. But yes, I like that one. If I had to pick three that I want to get, I'm going to go actually tomorrow to Dick's to grab the Sixers one. And of course, Steph. I mean, that has to happen every year. But then I would say the Kings. I mean, those three to me. I think more so the Warriors just to keep the Steph collection going. But the Sixers obviously, and I like what the Sixers did. I like their ode to the Reading Terminal Market. I mean, I knew it was only going to be a matter of time before food gets into
the Sixers always seem to nail their city jersey though.
Huh?
The Sixers always consistently nail their city jersey though.
I wasn't a huge. The thing about it is I wasn't a huge fan of last year's because there was so much empty space on it, and I know there was a reason for that, but it was almost like too much. I
like the 75th one. That's their best one so far, I think. The 75th.
It just sucks that they didn't make Authentics.
The Spectrum one, they should have. What they should do with the Spectrum ones is bring it back as an association.
That's a third.
As a third, yeah, they need to bring
a statement.
Yeah, like a statement jersey.
I agree.
I said in the video I did. I said I would love to see them do. If they could, I don't know, maybe they couldn't do this, but do it as like how they like the white jerseys, the association. If they did a white jersey or do like a scrap the white, do a black version of the Spectrum, and that's their association from that point on. And they keep the blue Philo one as their icon. They need to keep a red jersey in the rotation because the red Sixer jerseys always look good. So that could be their statement. But that Spectrum one was and it was such an instant hit. Everyone loved it.
As a teenager that grew up with like Sports Channel and Prism, that hit me right in the feels.
Oh, I wish I got more of them.
When I first moved from New York City down to Philly, I remember, I don't know how, but I remember my mom took me and my brother down to the Spectrum. They were having a signing, and I only knew his name because I met him, but I met Desjardins and he, I got an autograph from him.
Yeah.
So, and that was like my first time being at like a sports arena and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Me too. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've never been to the Spectrum, but I've been to Wells Fargo way too many times.
Yeah. Yeah, the Spectrum was the first stadium I was at, and the Vet. Those were the two first for me, and then obviously the current stuff. But yeah, it's always going to be hit or miss, and I think that's what comes with everything being thrown out at once. Some things are going to stick, some things aren't. But I don't know. At least I'm hoping to get a couple of them this year. I think the one good thing for me at least is there's not a whole lot they're just jumping off the page at me. Plus, there's no reverse retros this year. So, like last year was apps that last year was oh god, I don't even know how the lights are still on. I really don't. Last year was well, you had the Phillies in the World Series, then you had the City Editions and the reverse retros coming out, and it was continuous.
And the Eagles in the Super Bowl,
and the Eagles were in the Super Bowl, so there was more money there. But more so, it was that one part of time where all things kind of merged together and the streams got crossed, right? You had the City Editions, you had the reverse retros coming out, blah, 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 blah. And there were so many hitters that I'm like, oh god, this isn't going to be good. The paying for came in handy, but I was paying for that stuff for quite a while. I don't know how I did it. I have no idea.
Speaking of Philly jerseys, what's your feeling about the Flyers' current home and away now? Like they went to the Legion of Doom, but there was a little bit of a miss. Like my best friend's a Flyers fan, and
yeah,
they went to the Phantoms Wolfpack game on Sunday. And that's one thing he lamented. He didn't like the fact that the numbers were single layered. Like they missed, and they should have had an outline on it. I think a perfect combination of the '70s jersey with the contrasting color nameplate with straight up Legion of Doom era Flyers, that would have been fucking
the problem that they had with the old numbers with the double stitching is that they took up too much of the stripe on the sleeve. So it's like it went over the stripe, and that was that was an issue. It was more so for the announcers trying to call the games because they were looking at the numbers on the sleeves. They couldn't figure out who was who.
Never bothered them in the '90s, though.
It didn't, but at the same time, those actually fit because it was like a whole. The sleeve was basically the part of the sleeve it was on was one color. There's only so much you can do with the Flyers jersey. It's pretty much, it's going to be what it is. The logo's the same. The colors are the same. They don't change. It's tradition. This is us. They make it work. I like them. I was at the game last week against oh god, who were they playing? They were playing someone last week, and they won the game. But Minnesota. Shout out to Jake. And I saw them beat as Wild, and I saw that was the first time I saw the jersey in person, and I also went to the shop and I saw the Adidas jerseys, and I got a good eyeball at them, and I like them.
I saw them at the rookie game. They're better. They're better on the ice.
They're better on the ice, and they're still wearing the black as the alternate. The black jersey's still their alternate.
I'm sure they're black and orange, right?
Yeah, it's the same that they wore.
The stadium.
It's the same one that when they were in the Stadium Series and they brought it on as an alternate. It's the same one. I'm sure they're going to debut something else for the Stadium Series this year against the Devils.
That's what I can't wait.
Real quick, I'm looking at this website sportslogos.net, and they're talking about the Warriors, the jersey, the City Editions, and they're saying that the stripes on the Warriors City Edition uniforms on the side are clearly inspired by cable car tracks seen throughout the city, which makes sense. While the curb San Francisco woodmark represents the steep hills they have to climb downtown. So
that's
what it's sounding like. So Bay Area, what's your verdict on that? I will tell you that is, to me, that's still pretty lazy, because I mean they could have done something much more unique.
But at least it makes sense for the design now.
Exactly.
It does. I feel like what they should have done, if they wanted to get really creative, like do something with like Splash Brothers, do something like throw a splash of something on there. Make it unique.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Because
they tried to do a unique one last year with the flower. That design being embedded in the material. And I saw what the Wolves kind of did that this year with the mountains or something or whatever what they were doing. I don't know. I mean, I know it to each his own. I wasn't a huge fan of it. The thing I didn't like about was that the flower was down low and they covered it with the pants or whatever it was
didn't make
during
sense.
the games. So a lot of the design even got covered because they had the pants on top of the shorts on top of it. But if they did something like that, if they could do that kind of thing with the flower, if they could do like a cable car or the Golden Gate Bridge or something higher up so that you can really see it and get a good look at the design, I think that would be cool. I think
they already done the cable car.
Well,
sort of.
I think they hit something with that with putting that logo within the material. I think they hit something there. The overall the problem was that it wasn't it wasn't done right. It should have been higher up. There should have been like you should have been able to see it more on the court. I think so. If they did something, let's say with the I don't know with the fish with the Alcatraz, let's say, and they did something with the Alcatraz building or something, and they just put it around the jersey and the water and all. I think that would look great, but they have to have it up so that you can see.
That's the problem though with basketball. You're tucking them in. If you're doing like designs on the bottom of the jersey, you kind of get lost because they're being tucked in versus like let's say a hockey jersey.
That's why I'm saying you
got to have it up.
Design,
it works.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you got to have it up on the jersey more.
You brought up the Wolves. I see a lot of people like them. I don't. I get it. The land of 10,000 lakes. I get it, but it is like a no-go for me. I don't find them appealing. I understand it. It's like a direct, it had correlation, but it's just to me, but that's the beauty of it. Like some people love it. They feel those jerseys are perfect. I like their classic. I love the classic. It's
amazing.
I pre-ordered an Ant-Man in the classic one.
Hey Rez, would you feel differently if the City Edition jersey was royal blue versus black?
Like the current design with the royal blue?
Yeah.
Like
throw a little bit. That would be a little bit of a Splash Brothers. Those colors from back then, kind of a thing.
I just feel like it's lazy. You know what I mean? Like it just. I get the nod, if indeed what that is the actual significance of it. But I don't know. I feel like it's missing something. You know what I mean? Like
I'm wondering if the base color was different on the same exact design, would it basically be give a bit different idea?
I mean, not really, just because we've already seen. I mean, the predominant colors for the Warriors are blue and yellow, blue and gold. Right. It's already been done. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like they need a refresh. They need something completely like brand new.
Yeah.
Even if it's a whole different color from their normal team colors. If it's something like that, it's like wow.
Maybe yellow.
Like I'm looking at these City Editions right now. Like
they could have went back and used like the Philadelphia Warriors colors.
Exactly. I mean, I know they did that with the Classic Edition.
No, but I know.
Good. But
I know the Classic, but I'm just saying like they could have went back because they don't necessarily have to use the wilt. There's other era like you go back. It's almost the same, but still they could have drew like part of the colors is because of. Our tradition.
Well, also, isn't the flag the California state flag? Isn't that red and white? Am I not?
It's
red, white, and green.
I know it's got the bear, but it's almost like because they're the Golden State Warriors, right? So maybe do something representing the whole. I know there's other teams in California, but maybe do something representing the state of California with a bear on there. Or something.
That's like I seen it. The Lakers City Edition is like a nod to a design that they wore back
way
back when, but I just think of
the
early
thing is,
2000s swingman.
like, I
That's
get what you're saying, Bay Area, but I feel like the organization is the Bay, so I feel like they should basically use elements of that, and add like elements from the Bay. That's what makes this unique, because it's like the one jersey where you can take chances, and like it's a hit or miss. The worst you could say is, it's not that great, but then the good thing about it is that you could learn from those mistakes and do it the next year. But like,
that's the thing. That's supposed to be the most creative with those jerseys, because you could throw everything at it.
It's just the same thing. Like,
you're not
it's just
spread by the team colors.
Yeah, it's like black and gold, black and
gold.
gold, black and gold. Like, we've seen it over and over and over again, and I get it. Like, coming from somebody who's a Bay Area native myself, like, yeah, like, I do agree. Like, we should be doing something different. Like, the one jersey that really stands out to me from this year's City Edition, and I don't think it has any significance to the city, correct me if I'm wrong, are the Indiana Pacers. Like, I don't know if you've seen their jersey.
It is supposedly that was a design that they were gonna do in the 90s. It got hashed, and they went with FloJo, I think. Or it might have been between the FloJo into the pinstripe era. But I believe the story behind that is that was like an idea of like a jersey that they were gonna do, and they decided not to.
I mean, that's pretty dope though, because you're pulling something out from the archives, and ideas that got scrapped. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I understand like what Bay Area is saying, but at the end of the day, Warriors, the Philadelphia, even though they're not in Philly no more, that's those colors, those colorways still belong to them. So it's not that it's associated with any other, because they can't say it's the Sixers colors, even though the Sixers they kept like two colors. They just didn't use the yellow, which was there. But
what they should do, and this is just my thoughts, Bay Area, because you're a Bay Area guy like myself. University of San Francisco, their colors are literally green and yellow. If they did something like that, that shit would be crazy. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's because they're paying homage to the A's." It could be, but it could also mean that you're paying homage to a college in San Francisco, which is the city you so happen to play under. So if they did something like that,
still the Bay altogether.
I might be and I might be biased because green is my favorite color. But like, if they did some shit like that, knock it out the park. I know a lot of people were comparing the Statement Edition to like Berkeley because of the navy blue and the gold, which is the same colors that the university wears. But like, if they did that color,
the Warriors wore navy blue at 1.2, so that still works.
I'm just saying, bro.
That's like
that would be crazy if they did that shit. I'm just saying though. That's my thoughts on it.
I feel like sometimes. But some of the City Editions still honor team legacy. Look at the Utah Jazz. The Big Mountain is really honoring like the 90s big and the late 90s, even though it's not even though they have already worn that as a City Edition, they still went, revamped it, and I mean as a classic, they still went, revamped it, and turned it into a City Edition and made it
essentially the Bad Boys era, like kind of thing, kind of like a tribute to their nickname of the Bad Boys back in the late 80s. A variation of the non-team colored stuff. I mean, that's what Detroit went with.
Yeah, but then some city stuff they didn't even make available. Like last year, I know like Detroit's City Edition was paying homage to like a famous like marquee like church where like hoops was played at in the city, and they didn't really offer that jersey. They didn't offer an authentic. And then even for the Wizards, like the Cherry Blossom, once again, those jerseys were dope. I got to see when they played in court, and it just sucked that they didn't release those, like, to the public as a jersey to buy. I thought it was dope. You had the blossoms all along the side of the jersey. They replaced like the tittle on the eye with a blossom. Like some places got creative. That's totally, even like this year's, I don't even know where the color scheme is coming for, the Wizards jerseys this year. I like the fonts on it, but like the whole color scheme, I have no idea where it's coming from. But there's, sometimes I don't know. You just gotta like rest. You just saying like team just has to reach. If you ain't gonna, no risk, no reward.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. And if there's any uniform in their palette that needs to be more risky and creative, it has to be the city edition, comparatively speaking, compared to the others. So yeah, that's why it doesn't like the Kings one.
Yeah, but the
Totally
King City Edition pays homage to when they were in Cincinnati, and they were called the Royals.
Yeah, that's why he was saying
So
yeah.
yeah, because they wore. I mean, they wore the hardwood classic, the one that Oscar Robertson wore. They did that like in the 2000s, right? The white. Yeah.
But
Mhm.
they've done a couple. They've had a couple. Like I remember when Boogie Cousins was there. This was when he was like peak. They had like the Royals where it was just across because Oscar Robertson wore a couple styles, but I know like the City Edition, like that's their most iconic, like one of their most iconic jerseys that they wore. That isn't because if you notice, their statement is paying homage to the alternate from the 90s, which is dope, the checkerboard. And
Right.
then instead of it being the purple black, it's a gradient from between, they did a good job with their statement.
Yeah, I agree. Use Cincinnati love for the classic edition. Then people will be pissed because they'll be like, yo, we don't have an authentic in this.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's still part of a team's history. It was like when the T-Wolves paid homage kind of to like the Lakers for being there. They didn't use the yellow, but I still thought that the MSP jerseys that they wore with the light blue and the white was a dope jersey. Like,
It's very
Yeah.
Minnesota Lakers era style.
there's nothing wrong when it's still like a part of your like history, because it's not the
Yeah.
Sixers history. Because the Sixers history prior to being in Philly is Syracuse. And
Mhm.
Syracuse was red and orange and white, total different color set. Like, so it don't
Yeah,
even
then the
like.
Warriors originally were still wore the Philadelphia colors upon moving to San Francisco. Then they immediately switched colors, didn't they?
No, it was more, yeah, but I think they made like yellow like a primary color.
It's still
Where
the
in Philly it was like they had the white and the blue jersey. They had a couple other jerseys, but I don't think they wore like a yellow jersey. They had yellow in the jerseys while they were in Philly, but when they went to San Francisco, they had yellow was like a primary. So they
right.
still had the red and the blue and the yellow. Of course, like if you look at the Mitchell and S one that they made, the Wilt Chamberlain, you have the red and blue and then you have the yellow body. So but talking
That's
about
amazing.
jerseys people didn't love, when the Warriors first wore the cable car jerseys, they were hated too. They didn't like that design. They thought it was idiotic. When the Raptors wore the big
Yep.
Barney on their
I mean,
chest.
I get it's a team history, but not city jersey. That's like the San Francisco Giants. City Connects repping New York just because they used to play there. I mean, we could agree to disagree. I mean, at the end of the
But you
day,
technically can still use the yellow, the red, and the blue because they wore it in San Francisco.
yeah,
And even if you go and you look back to, I have pictures of it. They had a blue jersey that had the yellow and the red, so it's still
yeah,
they still had that colorway, and it's still when they were in the Bay. Like when Wilt first got there and they left Philly, they still had the yellow, red, and blue before they just went yellow and blue and blue and yellow.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like the transition in between Philly and moving to the Bay. That was there was a period in between where they essentially kept the
Because it was
uniforms
like even
intact.
with the Kings, it took them a while before they even changed colors. Because if you go even up to the early '90s, which people love those Kings jerseys, they were still wearing red and blue, which is what the Royals were wearing. And then, in the mid '90s, they switched over to
And
the
the same Kings.
purple, and they haven't looked back since they went to black and purple. Now, while they've
Right.
had some great success, they haven't been able to, capitalize and win a title wearing the black and purple color. So
See, that's always been my gripe. When it comes to colors, has been my gripe with the Rangers alternates always being navy. It was great in '96 when the Liberties first came out. I'm like, oh, that's different, navy blue. But now, basically, every iteration, every special jersey, save for throwbacks, because they've done throwbacks in royal blue. But every iteration, Winter Classic, navy accent. The original Stadium Series, navy accent. Second Winter Classic, navy. Heritage third, navy blue with vintage white. It's always been navy. So I was excited when the Reverse Retro 2.0 was royal blue, because I'm like, oh, finally a royal blue alternate.
Yeah.
So it's still keeping within their history, like that's why I think I preferred like a Reverse Retro program versus City Edition, because you're still reaching the whole Reverse Retro thing was like, oh, this is a throwback jersey with a twist. And with City, you're still trying to draw in with, whether there's stuff within the city itself or within the team's history, mixed together. It's like those remix jerseys from the early 2000s. I think Mighty Fan mentioned earlier those Nike Swingmans from the early 2000s, where they were basically remixing like throwbacks with either current colors or
they were swapping colors and stuff like that.
That was basically the idea for that. And I don't know. Like I said, I think you're supposed to be the most creative with this one, because this is the jersey that the uniform. You're thinking outside the box, versus you're tied up with this statement association icon, which I'm still not used to calling those names. It's been what? 6 years?
I mean, sometimes they've even reached, what is it? I guess what
With
Indiana was wearing when they had. Well, they were like hardwood classics.
Oh,
when the Hickory jerseys, burgundy and that, but those colors are Cavs colors, but they still went, and I get it, Hoosiers, so it's really dope that they paid homage, to that. So like that was really dope. But there's times where teams totally. One of my favorite is the I can't remember. I think it was the first Chinese New Year's that the Warriors did, like that off, like sulfur gray with the yellow. Not even the one with the dragon on front is like hands down the best.
Yeah.
But that one year where they had like the dark gray and then they had the yellow accents all along. Yeah, I love that jersey.
That one's still the best.
Like people like the amount of like stitch work that goes on that crest of that jersey alone is beautiful. That was the first year I think Nike took over too. So like I had the Kevin Durant and there was not a single issue or a thread loose or anything on that.
I still need that one too. The charcoal one.
Charcoal.
Yeah, there's a dude locally I'm trying to see. He has a Klay Thompson of the Charcoal Warriors.
Is that the sleeve?
No.
The other one, the one before the Bay. I
think it was after.
Yeah, well, the charcoal one is like the town jersey. It's like that color.
Oh,
but then they add the red, or I mean the yellow trim, and then it's basically a charcoal body on the mesh.
It reminds me of like
what was that? Was that a city? That wasn't a city, what?
It was a city because they made it authentic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the early city ones, right? Was that the one?
Yeah, because they had like basically it was like 2 years in a row with Nike. They did the Chinese New Year's as a city edition, and they did the one that Red showed. And then
I remember. Oh yeah, I have that in Swingman. Yep.
The one,
that was. Did Nike take over the NBA? What season was that?
I think it was 17, 18.
The one that I really liked.
Same season as Adidas took over the NHL. Then, damn.
The town jersey, not the first version, the second one that they did
blue.
The blue, but then everybody was hurt, so like, really the only player at that time accurately that wore it was like Draymond, I think. And
so that jersey has a bad connotation to it then.
Yeah, well, because like I think Klay had his Achilles injury at that time, and then Curry was out.
Here goes the question: do you believe that in the future should Draymond go into the Hall of Fame?
Oh man, if Snacks is in here, you're gonna open a can of worms. Given his credentials, like on his resume, I think that alone should determine, you know, whether or not he should be in the Hall of Fame or not. Because I mean, the dude is literally a 4-time NBA champ, like, and he was a part of the Big Three. So for you to not put him in there is kind of.
I feel he was very important to their. Look, I get Kevin Durant was just like a hired gun. He wound up coming, and y'all were
There
successful.
it is.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah, that one.
Is that an authentic?
No. Yeah, I don't have a lot. I only have the only authentic I have is the Oakland one and just the Icon blue.
I think ironically, the authentics don't even have, I think, perforated numbers on them.
No,
I think the authentics of those just have 12.
Yeah, that's
wow.
I forgot.
That's the one.
That tells you how many of these darn things they've been. I forgot about this one.
Yeah, that's
like
the
one I don't have that I was trying to.
That's a flex. That's a flex, mighty fan. That's a flex.
Does it have on the?
He was very in the same way because like Rodman don't have a shit ton of points. I get he was the rebound king, but he was also pivotal to the Bulls' success in their second run of back to back to back. And regardless of what people have to say, Draymond has been a part of the Warriors' success. And because if you look, he was also there when y'all won in the 75th season, because you can get rid of the whole like Kevin Durant. So it's like, it was just y'all and the young crew that y'all had. So
yeah, I think
he also has some Defensive Player of the Year awards. So
I'm saying, like, I think he deserved, like, all biasness aside. I mean, just looking at the Big Three, and
then I guess somebody was trying to say I didn't agree. They were saying, well, of course it's gonna happen. Curry, Clay, and Dre are gonna get statues, and they said that KD deserves a statue. Do you believe KD?
I don't think KD deserves a statue. I mean, he definitely will. I mean, he definitely will have some sort of like memento left behind at the Chase Center, but I don't think it's going to be a statue. I think it's going to be like something on the wall or something, or
remembering his time there, basically how great
he couldn't beat us. He was up 3-1, and he came.
I mean,
he came to the Bay.
All due respect, like I think KD, because like a lot of people in the Bay hate KD because of what he did. It's wild to me because it's like, yo, he did
win a couple chips. I mean,
2 championships to the Bay, and the fact that he left because he wanted to pursue that. I mean, that's just how KD is. That's what he did with Brooklyn.
He wants to prove that he could win without already going. Because come on, you guys won. You won 73 games. And then he goes and he joins you guys. So it was like y'all were still – you just added somebody else who could shoot the ball as well as Clay and Curry. So it wasn't like he really had to play up, and try to carry a team. Because if he had a bad night, Curry could still have a great night. If he had a bad night, Clay could still have a great night. So I just felt when he went to the Warriors, it was easier because at the end of the day, if he had a bad night, he didn't have to, none against him. He's had a great career, but like Russell Westbrook, is Iverson 2.0. He could just jump higher than Iverson. Iverson, I get culture, one of the biggest cultural impacts in NBA history, but Bubba Chuck, the Chuck is for chucking up 30 shots a game and whatnot, 35. So same thing with Russ. He needed a shit ton of shots. Yeah. Whereas with the Warriors, they're going to make those open shots. Y'all moved the ball so well. Y'all played the pick and roll so well. So hitting the open man wasn't hard, especially when you have them 3 and you basically are stretching the shit out of defenses. Like, it was just an easier thing because you knew Clay or Curry were both going to be on. One's going to be on. You add in somebody else where it's like almost a guarantee where you got two people that are going to shoot the gym lights out if one isn't shooting.
So let me throw this question out there, and this is a premature question, by the way, guys, super early. But if, and this is a huge if, but if the Warriors win a championship again with CP3 on their roster, do you think that his name should be mentioned in supposedly retiring in his jersey or showing some sort of nod to his tenure with the Warriors?
Wait, CP3 with the Warriors?
Yeah,
No.
I mean, because he's on the Warriors right now.
It would be
no.
It would be like a thing for his career if he's like pivotal. You understand what I'm saying? But as far as like
resume, yes.
retire his, he would have to be like Curry goes down and then he's averaging like 35 a game and taking you guys over without
the team on his back.
Yeah, like that's the only way he's gonna be. Cause like Kawhi took Toronto on his back. Not saying because Siakam played great, Van Vliet played great, but like everybody just thinks of 1 year he goes in, they go to the promised land. Sorry, you guys, some injuries happen, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And he, even though he was only there for 1 year, he's gonna be forever loved in Toronto. And sorry, Neil. I know the
Be used to the pain, Berto.
Yeah.
But for him, it was that case because he basically like put the city on his back, gave him a title, and they were okay with him leaving. So I feel if that were to be the case with CP3, it'd have to be something like that. He put the Warriors on his back, and he let. I'm not saying he would leave, but let's say he's like, all right, I'm hanging it up. And you could be like, well, that one time we thought we wouldn't make it, and then CP3 carried the torch, took us to the promised land, and took us back on top. That's the only way there's going to be some significance.
There's a better chance of Dennis Rodman getting 91 retired in Chicago before CP3 gets that number.
Well, so it's almost like when Pippen went to.
He's going to get 73 retired in LA before that happens.
It's all like I look at it like kind of like when Pippen went to the Blazers and he took them to the against the conference finals against the Lakers. I mean, at that time it was Shaq and Kobe, but can you imagine if they won? If the Blazers beat the freaking Lakers and made it to the finals and then won the finals, like, do you think they would have given him some sort of?
But he was key to their success though. Like even though he was a little bit older, he was starting games and he stayed there for a couple of years. And while he was there, they had some relevancy. They were going deep runs into the playoffs. And they had a good team around him, like, at the time, too, as well.
So rooting for Dion did the same thing with the Niners, and it seems people don't hate him in the Bay, but I don't know what it was like back in the day when he originally left after that one season.
Yeah, but Dion was cut from, I don't know, Dion. We knew. I think the fan base back then knew that Dion was a one and done. That was a hired gun.
Well, what is it? Dion didn't play till what, like week 3 at that because of contracts. He didn't even play a full. I'm not saying, but he didn't even really play a full season because he was working out a contract and he didn't start till I think week 3 for the Niners. I know he was helpful. He helped. Win a Super Bowl, and then he bounced, and then the next year, he played the Cowboys.
That whole Niner team was like a dream team. If you look at all those guys they got, like a lot of those guys were ring chasing at that point, but they also brought in they brought in a bunch of guys. They got
Ken Norton Jr. too,
man from Washington, and all these different guys that just for that year to try to get over the hump because they kept losing to Dallas.
Yeah, that's what y'all doing right now.
Chase Young, baby. Chase Young and Nick Bosa reunited again. Let's go. Defense.
That still ain't gonna happen. They don't play quarterback.
Ooh.
at least
so dirty these days, is he?
Hey, at least we don't have freaking Jimmy G, and at least they didn't fire our head coach.
I like to say that Josh McDaniels has never been successful as a head coach. I remember when he was the head coach of the Broncos, and there was all that hype. They went 6-2, and then after the midseason, they went 2-6. It was like,
man,
That franchise. I mean, they
boy.
not only did they fire the head coach, they fired the GM. So that was like a 2-for-1. Like,
I just feel bad because I felt John Gruden was building some culture there, and they were having some success. And then, his skeletons were like, they did Thriller. And
what were they, like 10-7 during his coaching?
Yeah, I think the first season was like a losing season, but the second season they were winning, and then that stuff came out, and they were like, "Ejectocito, cuz."
I was actually I was listening to the radio here, and they were talking about that whole situation because I guess Gruden still had like 4 years on his contract.
Oh yeah.
And same thing with McDaniels. I think he's got like another 4 years, so they're technically still paying these freaking former head coaches. And as far as I know, they don't have another head coach in mind. Like,
I think Steve Smith is the interim coach.
No,
crazy.
Antonio Pierce.
Oh, I was about to say because I seen he was at a press conference talking about he was.
Yeah, Antonio Pierce is the interim head coach. He was a linebackers coach. So
crazy.
Kind of ironic because they're playing the Giants this week.
Shout outs to the Texas Rangers fans out there, man. They won the World Series. So
finally,
I
Texas won.
We would have given them
more.
Of a
5-0, man. 5-0, yeah.
I think
they swept them.
4-1.
We softened up those Diamondbacks for them. That's right. We would have given them more of a fight. It would have been a better World Series if the Phillies got in there. But
I thought Texas was doing bad because this morning I was looking at my phone and it was like Scherzer, and then the one guy was out for the remainder of the World Series. I was like, adult?
Yeah, Garcia. It didn't matter to them, because an Arizona team, we should have beaten them. God damn it.
Yeah, Raiders.
Arizona.
They're not a great.
It sinks in.
They're not a great.
And Neil, this is what I gotta say is we should have beat Arizona too.
My God,
that was like 20-something years ago. So.
Oh, I remember that. I remember Soriano gave them the go-ahead home run, and then one of the very few times the Sandman didn't deliver.
Yep. They kept mentioning that, I think, from the game, so they had the same situation. I'm like, why do you have to bring
that was the first time, because then,
I have to bring that up.
You just gotta, man, I don't know. Like, I got my eyes focused on the Warriors and the Niners now. But thank God we have a bye week, because these last 3 weeks have been freaking.
All I know is,
It's all.
You know what? I'm glad.
Thank God for hockey for me.
I hope.
Don't even get me started with the Sharks. I can't.
Now at least.
How you feel about the Sharks? How I feel about the Giants. Same way.
Are you guys 0-8? I don't think so.
We're 2-6. We're
That's better than 0-8.
I witnessed the Giants get defeat snatched out of his jaws of victory twice in the last 4 weeks.
Oh, yeah, Adam, how'd your Red Sox do this year, huh?
I can't talk about the Sharks. All right. There will be no Sharks hat in this life. All right.
Oh, come on. You retired the Sharks hat?
No. They don't deserve to be on my head.
I'm
just put on a Golden Knights hat,
Oh, hell no. There's so many Golden Knights fans here in San Jose. It's crazy. Like, everybody is.
I don't know how.
I don't know. Like, everybody's just
are they from Vegas? Like, did you? And I highly doubt they moved from Vegas. So
I have no idea. It's funny because at my job the other day, I was wearing a Sharks jersey, and one of the security guards was like, "What jersey is that?" And then I was just like, "It's the Sharks jersey." He's like, "It's not Golden Knights," and I was like, "Bro." So I don't know. Like, everybody seems to be a Golden Knights fan.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Now I do know that some people work in the Bay and then they live. That's one of the reasons why San Diego became the, most expensive city in America. Is people work in the Bay and then they fly. Once their work is over, they fly down to San Diego. Well, houses were cheaper at the time, and then same thing in Vegas. I knew some people that worked in the Bay during the week, and then Friday came home. You know what I'm saying? So
no, the Sharks ain't winning.
I won't lie.
I'm being real. That's coming from a biased Sharks fan.
I moved 76 games. There's still 76 games.
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if we're 0-76.
This is what you have to do in hockey. You have to suck. If you're not going to make the playoffs, you got to suck and get those draft picks.
Well, the Sharks are in the right spot.
That's how
Then
teams
what-
win in hockey.
They're
Well, I can.
The
One thing I
Flyers are
tell you,
finally embracing it. I'm so excited. I
bro,
can't
I
wait
don't
for
want
3
I don't
years.
want to hear this shit.
It's not a
If
half
your
rebuild,
team
a full rebuild this time.
if your team
is
does
it.
not have a
Be
single
strong.
win, if your team does not have a single win so far in the season, I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't want to hear it, bro.
That
Like,
is pretty bad.
that is exactly that's
That's
worse
pretty
than
bad.
that.
Maybe the Flyers have a chance of getting a win then in next week when they go out to San Jose.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be
The Phantoms.
No, that's the game the Sharks will win.
I seen the listen. I saw the Phantoms play the Wolfpack last Sunday, and I saw more exciting scoring in that game than I saw from the Giants and Jets. So that's how
Well,
terrible.
yeah,
it
watch
was.
the Eagles. That's all. Yeah.
Nah,
Here we go.
We're green.
why should I fall asleep?
Nah, you know what? I'm just saying the Cowboys. They're looking pretty.
Don't worry about them.
Looking pretty
Don't worry
solid.
about them. They're regular
look,
season wonders.
I like my Cowboys, but as long as we got Ass Prescott as our quarterback,
Yeah, they're the regular season regular season champs.
it
They
ain't
get to
even
the
that.
divisional round and then they become the Sixers.
Oh damn!
It's true. This is the two teams
No,
that get in the regular, then they can't get out of the second round. Either of them.
Oh my lord! That's
So you guys have a after the Cowboys, you guys have a bye week, right?
Yeah.
No. I mean,
Oh,
it like
Eagles.
the
Yeah,
harder their schedule is like these next 5 weeks because it's the Cowboys, the
That's all right.
Chiefs,
It's a week-to-week league. We know.
and then I forget who's afterwards,
Wait,
and
the
then it's
same
like the
Chiefs that lost
Cowboys
to the
again.
Bears?
We're playing Buffalo. I think after the bye
Yeah.
week, we play Buffalo and the Kelly Greens again.
And
Because
then you play the
league wanted us
Chiefs.
to wear the Kelly Greens
then
against
you play
Miami
us.
and Buffalo for some reason.
then-
But we're
Mighty.
wearing
Question: do you prefer Kelly over Midnight?
I'm not an Eagles fan. Hell yeah. I like the Kelly over been.
I
I
do love the Kelly Green, and it was my first uniform for the Eagles, and I have a lot of Kelly Green paraphernalia, but I gotta say they won a Super Bowl in midnight green.
I get that, but so did
So
the
that-
Broncos
that's-
with orange uniforms, and although this Nike era,
I love the.
they're-
Let me get this. Actually, I picked it up on the weekend.
because I got into an argument with a friend of mine who's a longtime Eagles fan, and he's like, "Oh, everybody wants the Kelly Green back, but they have been more successful in midnight green." I'm like, recently, yeah.
I mean,
The team
what I
won
can tell
70
you is
for 70
they-
seasons. Like
you have gotten just as much disappointment in the midnight. They just finally got 1 year where the midnight was successful.
They've had
The
more-
early
they've
2000s when you were, constantly in the NFC Championship game and only made it to one Super Bowl out of that, 4 or 5 years there. So
Well, we have been more successful since 1995 than a certain team that resides in Dallas, but
that's cool.
I'm
I
biased
got to
because-
watch 3 wins. And not a
you
single
saw your
loss.
VHS tape, I know.
I don't need a VHS tape. I don't like recording stuff, so it's all up here. I saw my Rangers win. Did you see the Flyers win?
Oh, so you're a Rangers guy, all right.
I've been a Rangers fan. I'm a Rangers and Yankees fan.
You don't really talk a lot about hockey, though. I mean,
Because
let's put the
hockey's
cards on the table.
Hockey's not my has never really been like my biggest sport.
I probably watched more Flyers games than you
I'm the
watched.
same way. Like other than the Sharks, I don't really follow. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know like the greats. And
I don't
stuff.
watch no Flyers games, so
thank goodness for ESPN Plus for me.
I watch a lot of hockey. I watch a lot of non-Flyers games too. But I made a purchase on the weekend.
Authentic?
The authentic.
Ooh.
It was at
Not
the
as
team
successful
shop.
as a certain team in the Northeast, though.
yeah.
Oh my lord. Patriots.
You need to put a lot of asterisks behind all the cheating from the first 3.
Well, is the eagle? Is that printed on or is that
No,
embroidered?
this is authentic. It's stitched. This is an authentic.
Man.
So is it like a patch essentially?
Yeah, it's
stitched on.
Yeah, I mean it's stitched on.
Right. Nice.
It's a shade of green on this current throwback close to the originals. If you look at the Mitchell Nesses or even some of you have vintage Kelly Greens on your collection, right?
Yeah,
is it similar? Is it brighter? Is it like that? That's the big point of contention when it came to the shade of green.
This one, is it the same?
Yeah, like this one versus like the vintage.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
It's pretty close.
I mean, obviously it's not a vintage, so I mean maybe the shade is just slightly lighter or about the same. I mean, Kelly Green's Kelly Green. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, they've had, if you look like the 80s Eagles was like a lighter green, the 90s Kelly Green was a little bit darker. Okay. So I also feel
80s and 90s basically.
Yeah, but the biggest thing between why there's going to be like a color difference is those jerseys were also mesh, whereas that you just have some perforated holes.
Sure.
So you're seeing more color, and you're not, there's no
right.
Because I remember when I did the video for my Grant Hill 95 All-Star game, somebody was like, "Oh, the Mitchell and Ness is has more purple." I'm like, "No, it has smaller holes, so you see more purple." I was like, this is actually done correct, so it has bigger mesh holes. So I was like, you're able to actually see some of the background on the jersey, whereas with the Mitchell Ness, you're just really seeing the inside of the jersey. So,
I think that, I mean, as far as like, I see Bay Area going with the A's, I think that, there might be something with just how the color is. I mean, obviously the color's the color, but there might be a different slight hue variation. I'm not really sure. I haven't really put this up against any of my vintage to this point. So I'd have to probably do that to say, okay, well, maybe it's a little off or whatever, but it looks great, and they looked awesome on the field. I was so glad that they went with the silver pants. They went with those silver pants and the helmet. It just really brought back the feels. But as much as I love the Kelly Greens, the Kelly Green is always going to be in the fields because that was the first. But winning that Super Bowl in midnight green, that's still hard to top. That's
I guess then the other recent Kelly Green moment, would be the Michael Vick game.
Oh yeah,
and the throw to DJ.
That was the 60th anniversary of the.
That was That was like a 1960 throwback, right?
Was it the 50th? I forget if it was the 50th or the.
It was the 50th anniversary for the 1960.
The 1960 championship. That's why and they were playing the Packers. That's why they wore that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that was Kelly Green. That's one of the clips. The Turd Bird fans on my timeline will always post. So.
Well. That was actually when I knew Mike Vick
was to be the Eagles quarterback. Okay, I'm going to write that down.
I remember going to work the next day, and I told my boss, I said that Mike Vick should be the quarterback here, not Kevin Cobb. I said Mike Vick, this offense fits Mike Vick better than it would for Kevin Cobb, and the rest was history on that one.
That was 2010, right?
Something like that. They all blend together now.
We're waiting on that CMC Vapor Elite. I don't know what the hell they're holding up on, but
Alex Rodriguez will get his jersey retired in Yankee Stadium before you get a CMC jersey.
Nah, as a Yankees fan, I hate A-Royd, so.
I'm indifferent, but I don't know, man. The pace for rest is going. I think that's
we paid him all that money, and I get it. There was 1 year where he didn't choke in the playoffs, but there was also a lot of players that also played great. Johnny Damon played great. Hideki Matsui ultimately was the MVP of the World Series that year. So it was like, they had a lot of, Teixeira played great. We had Robinson Cano before he left, the money. He went chasing the dollar bills, y'all. But I was glad when he got caught, doing steroids. So
Utley was better. I remember there used to be that big comparison between Cano and Utley.
Yeah. Nah, Mike Vick. I mean, despite everything that he did off the field, I respect the hell out of it. Like,
I'm a big Mike Vick fan.
I wasn't even really into college football like that, but when I actually got to see him.
Oh yeah.
I was watching.
I remember there was what is it, like his rookie year or his second year in the league? I remember there was a game. He was the first quarterback I ever saw throw like a 60-yard frozen rope.
Absolutely.
Like there was no air. The ball just was like.
That was rookie year.
Right.
I remember.
Yeah,
I
he threw.
remember because I was too young for prime Randall Cunningham. I remember Cunningham at the end when he was an Eagle, and then obviously as a Viking and whatever. But so I didn't really watch Randall in his prime when he was the ultimate weapon. But Mike Vick was the first quarterback that was like I had to see. You could not turn the TV off when he was on because he was going to do something special, like just about every game. And I remember watching him at Virginia Tech, and obviously with the Falcons. And then when he came to, after, obviously, you know, the incarceration and whatever. But then when he was an Eagle, I mean, he still was fast, but he didn't have that elite speed that he did when he was with the Falcons. But boy, could he throw that football.
But that was what I felt.
It was like late 90s Randy Cunningham was with the Vikings.
People compare Jackson, right, with the Ravens.
Lamar
to Mike Vick. I said no way. Mike Vick, his arm. Jackson does not have that. Jackson has speed. He can run. He does not have that strength in the arm.
He doesn't have the strength or the accuracy that Mike Vick had.
Well,
Mike what I felt is when Vick got his shot with the Eagles, he also had better offensive weapons. Now all he had was Algie Crumpler, and then he had Warwick Dunn and TJ Duckett. But those were just two running backs and one. You know, he had Selleck, he had DJ. They had a better offense, so it was easier for him to. McCoy. I felt to throw the ball because like all he had to do is for DJ, all he had to do was just throw it out there. He was going to go catch it.
That's why I knew he should have been the quarterback over Cobb here because he had a stronger arm. He can throw that deep ball better than Cobb. So when Djax or Macklin or company got downfield, it was just bombs away. I mean, Washington paid the price for that a few times. I remember some of those games against them. He was just a show. And I understand about the dogfighting and everything. I'm not trying to, but he will always be one of my favorite, just pure athletes to watch on the field.
Yeah, that game against Minnesota where he
yeah, when he ran away from those defenders, that was something. That really was something.
Yeah.
Of course, we beat him a couple times in the playoffs.
And then not only that, he was the first quarterback or the first team to beat the Green Bay Packers at home in the playoffs and like forever.
Yep, at Lambeau. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Went up to Lambeau in the cold, and they went and won it. When people were like, no one's won there in 40 years or whatever they were saying. And,
that was 2000, 2001.
And I think one of the few quarterbacks that did kind of remind me about Vic, ironically, Rez was on your Niners, was Kaepernick when he was in his prime, because he could throw, and he could run, he could move, and he could throw the football. And he's probably one of the few quarterbacks that had that blend of athleticism and throwing power like Vic had. And Cunningham could throw too. Cunningham could, he could bomb it down the field. But like I said, I didn't see him in his prime.
Yeah, I've heard the stories. They said and
he could punt the ball too.
Cunningham, they used to.
I can vouch for that.
At practice, they said Cunningham used to stand behind the goalpost and then throw the ball to the other side of the field.
Unbelievable. The play, and
They said that's how. I mean, that's what I heard as a kid. They were like, "Oh, he at practice."
That punt was what, 1989.
Yeah,
1989 was that punt.
The play that I didn't watch it live because I was still too young. But the play that I always remember with Cunningham was the game in Buffalo, where he somehow felt Bruce Smith coming and he ducked under him before Bruce could get him, and he runs around and he throws a bomb to Fred Barnett for a touchdown. I could you watch that highlight and you're like, how in the hell did he get away from Bruce Smith? No one was more surprised than Bruce Smith, but somehow he ducked away. He didn't even see him. He felt him coming and he ducks and Bruce just goes right over him and Randall goes scrambling around a little bit and he just throws a bomb down.
It was like that one highlight I kept seeing over the years with Banks, when Carl Banks.
Oh yeah. When he bounced off of Banks. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a Monday night game.
That's still nightmare fuel. That's still nightmare fuel. It's been what, 30 years, and that's still nightmare fuel.
People
So,
forget
yeah,
how athletic
but-
Randall was. You know, if you didn't like watch him back in the day, you remember him as a Viking or something. Boy, he had some feet. He could
Right.
move and he could jump.
Listen, Randall had to walk for guys like Vic and Lamar Jackson to be able to play and run and be
Yeah.
the athletes they are today. Randall was like that measuring stick at the beginning. Like that was
How
like,
was
I give him his flowers, man.
Sure.
how about Warren Moon? How'd you guys feel about him as a QB?
Warren Moon
He had a
could
great arm.
sling the
Yeah.
shit out of the football. I
He
mean,
was a
if you look,
that passer though too, but
if
you know,
if he wouldn't have
Warren
spent,
Moon.
yeah,
if he wouldn't have spent those couple years up in the CFL, he would have been the first quarterback to had over 70,000 yards collectively from his NFL career and CFL career. He threw over 70,000 yards.
He was something.
that
And you
man
think
had
about
an
Warren,
arm.
a lot of years, I mean, he had some decent receivers, but he didn't have a lot of household names. I know he had Carter with the Vikings, but I mean, you talk about the collection of receivers with the Oilers, and they were good for their time, but they're not
Right.
gonna, you're not gonna put them up there.
Didn't they have like one of the worst like playoff blowouts ever? Weren't they beating the dog crap out of the Browns and then the Browns came back?
No, it was the
No,
Bills.
That was the Bills.
Buffalo came back.
But all
on it.
came back around with the Music City Miracles. He always
Yeah.
karma comes back around.
It's a shame. Warren was a hell of a quarterback. I
That
just
was a
never thought
forward
he had the
pass
team
on the
around.
slant. Yeah, I remember they were using all the as much technology they had at the time to prove that it was a lateral and not a forward pass.
Yeah, I
and-
remember that game very well.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody. I remember watching it live. They go Frank Wycheck, and then
I don't know.
And what Adam said is true. Warren was very underrated as a great
I
passer.
agree.
You think of all the great passers they always show highlights of. You never see Warren, and Warren, he
That's
could
another
throw
one.
that
He
football.
had arm, like great arm. He would throw that like on a rope, like you were saying about Big Man.
Yeah.
He
And
was
McNair had a
amazing.
nice arm too.
McNair,
Yeah,
yeah.
he did.
I mean,
I got
even
to
in
see McNair.
he had such a good arm. What was he, number 2 in the Heisman? I mean,
yeah.
really, he should have won it, but since he was playing at a HBCU and wasn't playing Division
And
One,
McNair was one of those quarterbacks where you couldn't bring him down with one or two guys. Like a whole team had to try to bring him down. He was so
I
strong.
mean, think what they were literally a yard away from winning the Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely.
Ernest Gibbons for the win.
Ernest Gibbons, yeah.
I never.
Jefferson. They had a couple nice receivers with the Oilers, but
I think it's
weren't
because he
like-
never really had a running game though.
Yeah,
That was usually his
I never
problem.
got to see Doug Williams play, but from what I've saw in the clips and everything like
was
that,
nice.
yeah, he seemed to be
he
pretty.
was a
cool.
little before my time too. But I mean, just seeing
Doug
that
Williams,
highlights.
Tim Smith,
Well, hey, if you're going to ball out, that's the game. to ball out in.
212,
Yeah, exactly.
212 yards.
I mean,
That's
if
a
you're
good
going to
history.
ball out in one football game, that's the one to do it in.
You know what's crazy is the Broncos, outside of having like the worst loss in NFL history, they also have the worst Super Bowl loss in NFL history. They get their
just have a
asses
lot of
whipped in the
luck.
Super Bowl.
But they won 3.
was
I
what,
mean, as a
24?
franchise, I mean, they've been very successful. They just
The stadium, the Mile High Stadium is beautiful. I went to Denver and saw it, and then in the parking lot they have a miniature scale of the original Mile High Stadium right outside of it.
I still
Yeah.
love those orange crust jerseys. Those are still some of my favorites. Denver
Same here.
wears
That's
the
another
orange.
thing.
I
That's-
sold you
that's-
mine, right, Money? Didn't I sell
Yeah,
you mine?
yep. And I still love those old Denver jerseys. It's probably why I have so many of them down.
I still need that Mecklenburg, man, the '94, but
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good ones that Mitchell Ness has made over the
Yeah.
years.
I sold Neil Mecklenburg
I have all of them.
some years back.
I need the. So you guys know that I have my list, my John Cena
Cena
jersey.
list.
So because I'm trying to figure this out. So this jersey that he's wearing, I know this is a Mecklenburg, but it doesn't have the patch. Is this a '94 or is this
It's a 94. That's probably just one that Mitchell Ness screwed up and didn't put the patch on. Because I have the one that has it. I got it from
Either
Berto.
that Either that or that got photoshopped out because of
That's
Maybe
what I was
because of the
thinking.
logo.
Well, because
NFL
I think
logo.
because they didn't want to get a copyright infringement,
Yeah,
they
maybe.
probably
right.
were like, "We got to
Maybe they
take that
couldn't get-
off."
Find legit pictures of him wearing that. He's worn it at WWE events. I know he's worn it on the
Yeah,
Raw.
I remember there was a
And had the logo
skateboard.
when he was wearing it at the event. It
I'm
had the
trying to
symbol
remember,
on it.
man. It may be a
There's
Mandela effect for me, but I'm
seeing
pretty
that
sure.
reminds me of when I was younger in the skateboarding. There was, I don't know if you remember, like Shorties, Chad Muska. There's a Shorties poster, and they're all standing together in New York City. Chad Muska has on Air Forces, not Air Forces, Air Maxes. And what they did is they photoshopped the freaking Nike, the Air Max logo on the tongue out and put the shoe company he was on at the time, Circa. And they put the Circa logo on the freaking Air Maxes that he was wearing. Like, you could clearly see
That's
that
ridiculous.
they were Air Maxes, but they had a, the skateboard shoe company's logo on it so shit
Yeah,
like that.
I figured.
Blake put up that his first jersey was the '94 Elway. That was mine too. And a funny story behind that one was I got it many, many years ago off eBay, and it wasn't the jersey I ordered. I ordered just a regular orange Elway jersey, and the seller sent me that one instead. And I
Oh wow,
Mitchell Ness jersey. I'm not complaining.
Hey,
It was
and
my
just
first
quick,
Mitchell Ness
'cause
jersey.
Jake asked, my hockey team's the Rangers. I really don't say too much, but I want the the Liberty jersey, of course,
I did too.
Gretzky, and then
Yeah.
the guy that guaranteed that we would win a Stanley
Messier.
Cup, Mark Messier,
Yeah.
and then of course one of the greatest goalies of all time, Mike Richter. So
Flower Town.
those are like three
Hockey team that I wish I had more jerseys of, but I don't, are the Ducks, because I'm in San Jose, so there ain't no quacking here. It's chomp, 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 But I've always wanted to get like a Karaya. Like, there's just that's an iconic, the duck with the Jason mask. Like,
I love that jersey, man.
yeah, like I need the eggplant jerseys.
This is my oldest
he's
one.
flexing now. Look at this.
This is my well, it's not my first. This is my oldest.
Those are nice. I think that's probably what holds me.
You know what's funny?
Probably what holds me from getting Ranger jerseys, because they are one of the rivals.
The only thing I can tell you about the Rangers winning the Stanley Cup, I remember they won. The game ended at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
it was a late. I fell
asleep. 1 a.m. I remember it because I was awake. I was awake on a school night at 1 a.m.
Yeah, I was with my dad. It was me, my dad, and my older brother. Yeah. I fell asleep, and my brother and my dad just started yelling. At the time, I was like 6, so they woke me up. I was more scared than I was happy, but they were shaking me like, "We won the Stanley Cup! We won!" So
what was
I
that?
did a
like
lot
50
of
years?
Celebrating that playoff run, because most of these games were like ending at 11 o'clock at night on a school night where I was supposed to be sleeping. So I can, my whole rest of my family was sleeping. So there was a lot of.
Yeah.
So, but also that was also the first year I was able to buy my own stuff. Like I had when, like I have the 92 and 93 Bulls championship stuff because my parents bought me those things. But for 94, I already had a job by then, and that was like the first locker room shirt I got. I still have the hat. I wore the shit out of that Stanley Cup hat. Like to this day, it looks worse for wear because I literally wore that like all summer, all the way through the first day of school, wear my Stanley Cup shirt. I bought anything imaginable with like the Stanley Cup champion, like posters, magazines, pucks, everything. That was like huge into that, because where I grew up, hockey wasn't a thing. Now it kind of is. Puerto Rico now is getting, they're getting their feet wet in hockey. The women's hockey team won the gold in the Pan American Games, I think like 2 years ago. So that went that whole Puerto Rican still skate argument. But
no, we just can't stop.
Yeah. It's just I'm one of the only hockey fans in my family. It's like me and my little brother. My dad to this day is like, "What the fuck you watch hockey?" I'm like, "Dad, trust me, it's awesome." So I took my sister to the prospect game between the Rangers and the Flyers. Her and my brother-in-law came to meet up with me to see them at PPL Center, and she's like, "This is amazing. We could come. We have to come to more games." And I was like,
Yeah, I gotta.
I'm telling you for decades. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I remember that whole run, man. I mean, that's where
I got a friend who's
That's what makes it special. When you see your first one, particularly if it's a team that hasn't won in forever, it just makes it special. That's just those are the memories that you never forget. You know, that's just you know. Thankfully, I've been able to see a couple. I still want to see the Flyers and Sixers, but
right,
it makes it a lot very special, particularly when you get like so many close calls and so many things that go against you, and it's like you expect this is going to go against me, this is going to go, and then it goes the other way. It just makes it so incredible.
That's how old that is. Look at that.
Happy.
Look at that logo. That's how old this thing is.
Oh yeah, no,
that's sometimes.
Those are memories of a lifetime. That 94 Ranger team was a pretty special team.
I actually bought this blank on Black Friday '94 because, like I said, I had the blue one first. I wore it to school. I was going to school half day, working the rest of basically half and half days. And I used to put whatever I was wearing in school in my school bag. I used to work. That was technically my second job. I delivered papers as that season before, but worked at McDonald's. I used to get in my uniform, then get out of my uniform, put whatever I was wearing to school that day on my way home. And I had that Blue Rangers jersey, and I came back to the backpack. Everything was there but that jersey. Mm-hmm. So that was like October, like late October around Halloween of '94, and then literally a month later on Black Friday, I got this guy. So
what do you guys think about these?
That's what I say. It's my oldest.
Now, what's the story with those?
Yeah,
are they actually going to do those, or is that just a concept?
I think they're proposed concepts to one.
The one on the left with the ribbon at the bottom looks way too Heritage Oilers for me.
I mean, like.
But how many rebrands are they going to do?
I don't know.
They can't just stick with something for a while.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I think these are just kind of proposed ideas if they rebrand. But
I'd like to see one of them as an alternate.
Yeah,
it would be nice.
They just rebrand. Just turn one of the Street Sharks and put the teal and black and white.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
I liked that other patch they had on their shoulders, like the real detailed shark. I would love to see that on the front.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that though.
Probably not, but
it's a very menacing patch on the shoulder.
Cool though. I like that shark on the. I still have to get a shark jersey with that patch on the shoulders.
That'd be a cool one.
Guy 14.
Oh yeah. See, I like those. Those are.
I don't know.
See, some people don't like the off-white, but I do.
That's definitely a concept. That's definitely going to be a concept. That's literally a modified Edmonton Oilers heritage. Come on, look at it.
You know what it looks like? It looks like your water is running low, like you're dehydrated. That's what it looks like. I wouldn't even tell that's a Sharks fan. I'm like, what is that?
I did get the Oilers Heritage class.
Doesn't it look exactly like it? Like, come on.
It has that ribbon look, yeah.
That and the way that shark looks like, you could literally bend that shark tail and turn it into an oil drop. Like,
yeah, well, that's what sold me on that jersey was it had the oil drop with the numbers in it.
Yeah,
I just thought that was so cool. So I grabbed it. It was a Fanatics version, but I got a Connor McDavid upstairs.
I can't wait to see whatever they're gonna do with the Stadium Series.
Roberto, you don't have any hockey jerseys, huh?
Negative.
Damn.
Roberto, you're missing out.
I barely have any football jerseys.
Again, damn.
I have more basketball than I do anything. Basketball, baseball. I just feel for hockey. I honestly, it's like a little over a handful of like hockey jerseys that I would like to collect and have in my collection. So I'm not like pressed on trying to find them. Like when the time comes, like in like 4 years, 5 years, when we get our house, more so I'll start, looking to collect other stuff. But like for me, honestly, like I said, I just want the Liberty which you showed, Rangers jersey, 94 Rangers jersey, the Burger King Oiler, the Burger King jersey, my bad, LA Kings.
Mm-hmm. Would you get
I
a
want
Gretzky? Would you get a Gretzky Burger King?
Yeah, I would like to get the Gretzky Burger King.
I have.
Even though they only, they didn't win it, but he was able to take them there. I want to get his, St. Louis Blues, and then
That's the only Gretzky jersey I don't want. I don't own the Blues one. I have a Kings, I have an Oilers, and obviously I got Rangers.
It's so nice though. The Blues.
Yeah, the Blues
Those
ones
are-
are
and
cool.
then
Yeah.
I would like to find like a like original. I guess when the Sharks first, because I had it as a kid. That was the jersey that I did have. I had an original like Sharks jersey, San Jose Sharks, because
Like
of
the
course
inaugural season style.
Yeah, so I had it with the big shark biting, So I had that, and then, of course, the Mighty Ducks.
By the way, I applied this patch myself.
For Ryan, that's the one I need.
This didn't come with a jersey. I applied this a couple years back when I went
And
to.
even though I guess people don't like
Same
them,
game I
but
bought this one.
the Fisherman Islanders, but with the wavy name
Oh, the
on the back.
original
You want the Colgate one?
Fisherman one?
Yeah,
But
with
the one
the
without
wavy.
Fisherman or
I
with
need-
the,
Nah, I
with,
got
with the Islanders logo or with the Fisherman?
Yeah, you got.
I think
With the,
I
I
need-
think
for
the
me-
Fisherman's on the side, and then you have the wavy name on the back.
So you get it has the Islander logo on the front.
I think I
and
whichever
the
one
Islander
has
logos on the,
that has the nameplate curved. It isn't
Yeah.
just
The ones
Well,
that
I
I
think they both
want
did.
to get, I want to get
'Cause
the
I have
Puma
a
jersey,
upstairs but it doesn't have it has the
the
Islander.
Islander, the New York Islanders one,
Yeah.
the Fisherman one, the Pooh Bear jersey,
Oh
the
yeah.
Ducks
Blue Bear.
jersey.
See, what he's talking
And-
about. What he's talking about is there were two variations of that
Blues.
wavy jersey. When they first released, they had the Gordon's Fisherman, like kind of like the reverse retro was, and
Yeah.
then because there was such a backlash for that logo, because it was little, that's what it was called, the Gordon's Fisherman, because he looked like a fisherman. That they kind of like overcorrected. They couldn't switch back altogether. So all they did is remove the Fisherman logo off that jersey. They kept the lighthouses and everything. That's the best part of the logo. Was the lighthouse logo on the shoulders? Was
on the sleeves.
They went to the classic Islanders logo. So there were like that period of transition between when that original Gordon's Fisherman jersey to when they went back to the classic jersey, that they had the Gordon's design with the classic logo on it.
And if I could find the two concept jerseys, I seen the one in Neil's house, the St. Louis
the trumpet
Blues with all the musical notes.
Oh wow, that starter, hell yeah!
That's a dope one, Neil. I seen in hand at Neil's house, and then of course the Wild Wing.
I also need to get a Winnipeg Jets. I gotta get one of those.
Which Winnipeg though? Which variation of the jersey? Like, is it like classic, reverse retro?
Probably the classic version, and then also Montreal Canadiens. I gotta get that one because Cena put it. He wore it, though he customized his. So,
and there's the two. Oh, I know Mitchell and Ness made like both of them, but like the the '84 All-Star game.
That's fire.
Yeah, but I want the.
You
the
want,
one with
the Fisherman on the front.
The Fisherman on the front.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
That's
and
what
then
I was talking about. That was the course overcorrection for the Islanders.
And then I think it's what the '84 All-Star game. I know Mitchell and Ness made the Gretzky, but I like
the Campbell, like the one. With
but it had like the stars on it. The '84.
Right. It's like orange and black ones.
Yeah.
I think that was those are good ones actually. Those are really good ones, honestly. Hockey lends itself with so many classics. Like I like the original Mitchell and Ness hockey jerseys, not the trash they're putting out right now.
I know. I remember when I made a comment.
They were, jersey? My God.
Yeah, I remember when they posted that on like Instagram, and I was like, they are glorified swingmans. Was like, but the logo, I'm like, yeah, the original. I said, let's go with your Flyers jersey. I was like, the Flyers jersey, I was like, it's supposed to have 3 layers of embroidery. I was like, you got 1 layer and a patch. The trumpeter, right?
Yep.
I actually remember
they didn't wear this because the coach at the time, Mike Keenan,
who was your
Not a fan.
coach,
Yeah.
said, "We're not wearing this."
Yeah, no, he was like, nope, we're
Nope.
not doing that.
I think it was
Actually,
cool.
when I worked at the store,
They
my
actually,
first year,
I think,
at the store.
if I remember the story correct, they were considering wearing something not exact the same, but similar for the reverse retro, and it just never happened.
Yeah, they kind of threw ideas around about it. Yeah, I remember correctly. But when I worked at the sports store back in the mid-90s, my first year there, they have the starter catalog. I'm talking like the full-on. Here's what we're offering for every sport, and that jersey was one of those that were showing way before like the first rollout of the third jerseys. It was this Wild Wing, Burger King, I think were the first 3 or 4. And they showed that one. I'm like, how come they never freaking showed those? So, yeah, I saw those in concept, even like in the catalog to be able to order before it was even like a thing.
No, what's crazy is they got a big ass memorial for that like Kings team, Gretzky and them.
Yeah. Well, Gretzky changed the landscape of hockey in the States. You know what I mean? Like before Gretzky being sent over to LA, I think he kind of put eyeballs more on the sport on stateside outside of like the East Coast. Like, you know, obviously Northeast always, you know, had a hankering for hockey, but I'm talking like California and down.
This is for Adam.
There you go.
Hey, Adam, look, a Flyers fan has it. How about you?
I gotta get that super. You know what? I would love to get a. Didn't Jumbo Joe wear that? He wore that, right?
Did. Yep.
Yeah, I would love to get a Jumbo Joe in that. That'd be so
Adam.
good.
See, I got Bruins jerseys, Adam.
Which one's that? CCM?
Yeah, it's a vintage. It's a pro player.
Oh, it's a pro player replica. Hey, yo. That was a 1-year
Eastern Conference.
Player.
I always loved that, like the starter, and then they did the conference logo on the bottom. That was always.
Yeah, something actually CCM took note of, actually, because I was saying starter was way ahead of the time when it came out a lot of stuff. For example, the sleeve logo on replicas, starter started doing that first. Then CCM, something even Reebok carried over all the way through the end with the premieres. They had the Reebok vector and then the word mark on the sleeve. Also, starter was the first one to add the conference logo even that little hockey logo, like the alternate logo, to make it look more closer to the authentic. You know what I mean? To give you the authentic experience without spending the money. Because a lot of places didn't carry retail authentics. Like if you walked into a store outside of the stadiums or going to like Crosby's in New York City or whatever, it was mostly replicas. Like CCM did this as in the bottom of the hem, kind of similar to how you saw the
Wow, that's
my favorite.
Yeah, that one's dope. I have the
started this really cool with Gretzky jerseys.
Yeah,
I
can, show my love for Neil's team. This is like, look, Neil. You know.
Oh yeah.
Where's your 1938 satin jacket at?
Well, not all of us are made of money. Not all of us are made of money, there, Berto.
Nah, you're the big money man.
Ah, come on.
Gretzky started replica. Check this out. The double hem. They have the hem logo on both sides.
Oh yeah,
that's something that Gretzky they did it on his authentics. Yeah, they did that in his authentics. Starter used to do it on the replicas.
That's the Hey, there you go.
There you go, Rez.
Sharks, baby.
Hey, area, there you go.
We were talking about this earlier. This.
Yep, the spaceship jersey.
The spaceship jersey.
It's such a detailed jersey. I just don't like the design. Like, it's crazy.
What's crazy is some of the touches that are in this jersey is on this regular. This is just this is the authentic A'ja Wilson Las Vegas Aces jersey. So
nice.
That I got. But like it has like the little, I don't know, get too close. It has like the little water drops into it. It's another. That's one thing I can say about some of these Nike jerseys. It's like you got to see some of them in hand.
The sublimation.
When I saw that All-Star jersey, I was like, "Yo, this is probably the most detailed and intricate jersey I've ever seen." Like in hand.
That's something that Nike did a lot through the late 2000s and the early 2010s was sublimation in the basketball jerseys. They did that with college.
They did a lot. I mean, they did the Bucks, the Milwaukee Bucks with the deer on there. They did the Raptors, and they even
going back to like
Seattle Kraken.
College,
college
basketball.
You know,
who put your patches on there for you, Neil?
This was cool. I got this straight from Cool Hockey last.
Just to let Neil know what time it is. I'm ready for this Sunday.
Yeah, it's time for you to lose.
I'm ready.
It's time for Micah Parsons to run by Jalen Hurts as Jalen's going in the other direction.
For my guy Rez.
Yo, you gotta send me that jersey, bro. Come on, put it for my Cena list, man. Damn, that St. Louis Browns jersey is so clean.
I know.
You know what? We haven't shown any. We're all showing jerseys, but we haven't shown any sneakers, man. I
want the original. I want the red version. I want the original.
Wait, did you get the cherries?
And I want the
had to get these. Mine's
are at work. I haven't bought mine. Mine's are at work.
I've never owned.
Wait the next paycheck to get them. So
yeah, I've never owned the cherries before. I never owned the 2009 pair. I never owned the OGs. So
funny thing about the cherries, you could tell where the budget went from Jordan Brand on the cherries. It went on the men's. Because if you were a grade school size, you are SOL. The quality on the grade school pairs are complete garbage. Like
really.
On release, on release day, a lot of people who want the grade schools, I'll be like, check them out before you take them, pay for them.
I'm not the shoe head, but my wife with the Neapolitans.
I saw.
Wait, you got the Neapolitans already?
My wife got early access on
Team Early.
Oh,
Team Early.
No, because we have them already.
But the only thing I can say with this shoe is they should have made this like pink instead of being like a subtle pink, because
it looks like off.
Because like in like pictures in hand, if it wasn't I have the halo, you could see it pretty well, but it should have been like
it is
pink.
It's a very you can see the pink.
This will be my next review right here, guys. My next shoe review.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shoe, man. I put mine on. I actually took them out of the box at work just to try on how they fit, because I haven't worn a 12 in about 10 years. So
12s are comfy. I think 12s, Jordan 8s.
This is a really good shoe in hand, really good leather. You got the
red cements.
The red cements?
Yeah.
Those went pretty quick too.
I sold my my Toro Bravo 4s a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
I sold them
because
huh?
What made you do that? What was the reasoning behind
it? I just haven't worn them. I haven't worn them in years. They've just been sitting. They're getting up in age. So
I know I don't gatekeep sneakers. I'm not a gatekeeper of any sort. But if I hear one more customer ask for bunnies and they're talking about the playoff 8s, I am gonna jump over the counter.
Bunnies?
Yeah. Because
you talking about the Bugs Bunnies?
The Bugs Bunnies are the Bugs Bunny 8s are the white ones. But because the playoff 8s came out a month ago,
they call them
you got the Bugs
Bunnies. Talking about the hairs?
The Bugs Bunnies.
The Bugs Bunnies.
No, because the white Jordan 8s are called the Bugs Bunnies as well, not just the Hair 7s. The Hair 7s were the original Bugs Bunnies because he wore them. That's the reason that both pairs are called Bugs Bunnies, because he wore them in those two commercials. He wore those.
The 7s were the hairs. Yeah, the Jordan 7s were the hairs.
Because my wife has some of her shoes out. The Airs, she loves 11s.
Are those last year's 11s?
No. These are like when they were doing like the whole Airs run. So you have these. You have like the burgundy suede ones. Okay. So this is like a.
Yeah, when it comes to Jordan Brand, they release. Let me see, 1, 2. They release 5 different size 11s, or at least different styles of 11s a year. They do the low top 11 with the patent leather in the spring. They do the women's Jordan 11 mid, but they always has like a twist to them in like the late spring, like I'm talking like May. Then they do the low top IEs in the last 3 or 4 seasons now. in
She just
September.
recently got these
And
too.
then-
The patent
That was
leathers.
the,
I thought those were the
Those are
satin.
the last 2021's.
Yeah, the patent.
Yeah.
That's technically
I like
the first
those.
reimagined.
I like those better than the satin ones because the
By
satin
the
one,
way,
dude,
it-
if
it's
you get that
technically the
satin
first
dirty,
reimagined,
that's
by the way.
done.
The one shoe I don't know why she refuses to. She hides them.
Rez, thanks as always.
The
I want to get out
patinas.
to bed. Good seeing you
All right.
guys. Rez,
See you, man.
continued success.
Man.
Y'all continued success with your collecting and all, and I'll see you guys again
Appreciate
soon.
Yep. Appreciate
Yeah,
you,
man.
Neil.
Take
Yeah,
care.
but no,
All right, you too.
those patent leather ones that he was just holding on to, those are technically the first reimagines. See, that's what Nike. Oh, I keep saying Nike. It's Jordan brand, even though they're the same
Jordan.
shit. I have to correct myself.
Interchangeable. Interchangeable.
Interchangeable, yeah. They're playing with the Jordan 1 highs. Outside of like non-OG colorways, they're gonna keep it just that OG, like the OG cut. And then
What up?
What's going on? Welcome.
What's good?
What's going on? So, but when it comes to the OG colorways, they're doing reimaginings. They're gonna do them with a twist, like those patent leathers were reimagining of the breads or the band colorway. The Lost and Founds were a reimagining of the Chicago's, like this upcoming the Royal Blues, that's suede uppers. That's another reimagining. If they're gonna do original style of those colorways, they're gonna be on the 85 cut, which they have been releasing very like whatchamacallit, they've been releasing them on and off the last couple of years now. So that's mainly the reason why. And the same thing, they're gonna do some reimaginings outside of the Jordan 1 silhouette, like they did the reimagined threes this last spring or winter actually. And they're doing the reimagined fours with the leather upper next February, which is gonna be on Jordan's birthday, the 17th. But no, a lot of people been calling for the playoff eights, which came out a month ago, Rez?
The playoff eights, yeah. Well, yeah, about a month. Almost, I think like 3 weeks.
They call and go, you got the Bucks Bunnies? I'm like, those are playoffs.
And then here you go, another sparkly behind 11. I remember when these came out, they sold out so quick. Some people, like girls that I seen, were like, I can't wait for these to drop. I'm like, yeah, you're 2 months late, and they're gone.
Dude, there's people calling my store still asking for Thunders.
Which
Shit
ones?
Sits, they don't sit that long.
The yellows?
Yeah, shit sits, but they don't sit that long. Yeah, I had those in the Lightnings. Those are like two of my favorite non-OG colorway fours.
People don't understand though that our store is not a reseller store. Our store is owned.
Hey, hearing you bring up the reseller, did you see that dude in the group who posted that Hibbits not only said they couldn't fulfill his order, but that they were gonna ban him because he was gonna resell their product?
Really?
Yeah, that's
it was a
that doesn't surprise me.
He got an email from them. I was like, what the?
That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Bay Area, what's good, man?
What's good?
Chilling, bro. Just talking shit, talking about shoes, talking about the Sharks.
I'm talking at the wrong time when you guys talking about shoes.
I'm about to wrap things up though, because it's getting kind of late out here, man. But yo, I saw your video on the Michael Myers stuff, man. Big shout outs to you and that.
For sure.
I didn't realize like how much Michael Myers shit you had, bro. Like you had like the mats, and then you had like you decorated your place with Michael Myers shit. That's dope.
Yeah, every year I get a couple more things from like the Halloween stuff.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Are you if they release like Michael Myers sneakers, would you buy them?
I mean, probably not. I don't like too much stuff all over my sneakers. I like my shoes simple. I mean, it depends. If it weren't too crazy, it might be something I could wear for like throughout October. Because October I wear more Michael Myers stuff than I do like jerseys or anything else. So I have so much Michael Myers shirts and sweaters. Like it probably could go.
Yeah.
If it wasn't too like crazy and stuff. I don't like too much crazy shoes.
Right. I feel it. That's what's up, man. Yeah, so I mean, basically, as far as everything goes with the 49ers jerseys, like apparently they did release a CMC Fuse Elite. but it's sold out. Like
Those-
from what I heard.
Those fuses look. I still haven't seen one in person, at least for the. I mean, I don't think I've seen any form of.
I mean, they're pretty much the same thing as
they have a weird like.
It's just the
line
collar.
here.
Yeah, the collar is a little bit
It
different.
looks super weird to me, and I'm just like, for me, I already have the Elite, so it would just be the same jerseys I already have, except with the weird ass collar. So for me, I don't really need that.
Yeah, I don't really need. I don't even have any of the newer Niners jerseys with the saloon on the front. I still got to get one, but I think I'm trying to figure out which player because I don't want to get a Bosa. I don't want to get a Kittle. I already have like 2 or 3 Bosas and Kittles from their previous eras. I mean, and then like I got the white Trent Williams that from the older design. So like if I get a newer design, I either would get like a Hufanga,
dude,
a Juice Check.
I think Ayuk's the way to go right now.
Yo, he's
I can't lie. I kind of wish I would have gotten Ayuk instead of the Debo when I got the customized the white the older style from 2 years ago.
Well, I mean, because Debo was balling out in that that season when everybody, before they renewed his contract. So it was only like everybody wanted this shit. I wanted this shit too.
Yeah,
but
he was doing it big. But I mean, I think Ayuk's the way to go. If I was to get one now of somebody and I was trying to choose, I'd probably want to go with Ayuk, honestly.
For me, it's down to, aside from CMC, it's Ayuk, Kyle Juszczyk, or Hufanga. Those are like the 3 guys that I would
say. I mean, I have Juszczyk and Hufanga, so it's easy for me to say, but I go with Ayuk out of those right now. And the thing is with the Niners jerseys, besides the 94 throwbacks, that's nice is that even though Fanatics is horrible at customizing, with the correct, they do double stitching instead of kiss cut. At least with the Niners, it's a single number, so they're gonna do it right. You can't mess up a single number. You know what I mean? So that's what's nice about the customizing. You can get anybody beside McCaffrey, of course.
Yeah, I heard they fixed it though. I heard they fixed the C. Because
they get McCaffrey.
I mean, it's sold out. Like,
but customized. I'm saying, if you're saying they fixed the C.
Well, even all the customized options are sold out.
Oh, from McCaffrey?
Yeah,
like they had a limited amount of baby C's. Like, what does that even mean? That's crazy.
I don't know, but I was like, what the hell? Because they had them and then they took them down. So I don't know what the hell happened, but it's pretty.
Put an alert. Put an alert for them. Put an alert. Like you know what I mean? Like get email when it comes back in stock or whatever.
Man, I don't know, dude. I don't. So every time I get that notification, it's already sold out. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I feel like I'm not gonna the only way I'm gonna be able to get that is if they do a massive restock, and I just so happen to be on the website when they do a restock. Like that's, yeah. I don't know, man. Like I'm getting pretty tired of this whole season without having a CMC jersey. Like it's frustrating. I had to get a freaking Panthers one, like I mean, collateral.
He literally just tied the record, and they still. And again, it's like I've never been in a business making jersey, so I don't know how it works, but I feel like, is it really that hard for them to just make the same jerseys they're making with McCaffrey lettering? Like, why is that such a big deal?
Yeah, I don't think it is.
It was a lot easier. Back in the day, I guess because most of these, the fact that most of these retail jerseys now are made overseas, but back in the day, well, I sound like an old guy. But,
well, because they're customizing
it was a quick turnaround.
Aren't those done here in the States?
Yeah, but the customization, like when I got my Giants, my San Francisco Giants jersey customized at the Dugout store, it was through Fanatics, and they had it by some lady in Fremont, which Rez, is in the Bay Area by Oakland or San Jose, right by you. But that was being customized in California. It wasn't, and that was through Fanatics. They did a horrible job, and of course I got my money back. It was trash. But anyways, point is they were doing it in United States.
Yeah, it wasn't outsourced.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to their baseball Fanatics, like, or at least the Nike jerseys and retail jerseys are still made here, because all they're doing is just slapping on Nike, go Majestic.
But it was customized though.
I know, but I'm saying like in general, like Fanatics bought Majestic years ago, and that was their original reason they actually bought Majestic was because they were going to work with Under Armour at the time. to do the basic
Real
MLB.
quick,
And then,
just to change gears. So I bought a 1975 Mitchell & Ness Joe Green, the made in Vietnam versions. Be warned, guys, if you guys get any of those runs, good luck putting that shit on, because literally I could not put. Look at me. I was trying to put this shit on my head, and
oh my god!
I look like freaking Cousin It. Like I could not get that shit on my. And so I was able to get the jersey on me, but like I couldn't take it off, and that was a big problem. And like I finally got on. But like if you do decide to get those jerseys, the made in Vietnam, you better have somebody next to you who's ready to take it off, because
you need a spotter to put a jersey on.
I'm telling you, I don't know what the hell they did, but like the neck collar is like 1.5 inches smaller than all my other like Mitchell & Ness jerseys. It's insane.
Can that be fixed though?
I don't think you can. So I ended up returning it to the seller, but like I don't think that's something you can fix, because if you look at the neck collar, it's literally just one piece. So you'd have to cut the jersey and then like stretch it. You know what I mean? Roberto, I don't know if you had any issues with like those older made in Vietnam Mitchell & Ness jerseys, like from like 2007.
No, but I know that sometimes some Mitchell & Ness jerseys it's either the neck hole is going to be tight because of Mark,
Dude,
big, my man, big Sluzzle, Big Slim. He'll let me know like, oh, the neck holes. My worst experience is the whole neck holes being too big, like that 95 rookie All-Star game, Eddie Jones. Even though it was a one production run, the neck hole on that shit is so horrible. I got it off Eddie, and it was like that's one of the reasons why I let it go. And when True Custom showed that he was going to make it, like I'm like, I'd rather have the True Custom because I know I'm not going to have a jersey where the neck hole is like this. Like,
I don't know. I guess I would have
the 93, like you were saying, Roberto, the 93 Giants black BP Will Clark. I think it's 93 with the black lettering with the orange outline. The neck collar only for that jersey, and I've seen a bunch of different stores. It's the same everywhere. It's not an error. That jersey they did it. The neck collar is like all the way across your shoulders. But when I've seen game used versions, it's not like they made it bigger. So I don't know why that jersey chose to make it huge for that one specific BP jersey. But
that was like when they did the Made in Korea baseball jerseys. Oh my lord! I had the Ken Griffey and the 97 Roger Clemens Blue Jays. The neck holes were just like you needed to wear a shirt under because it looks like you're trying to be like the old 70s with the chest hair hanging out. Not that you wanted to be. It was like, yo, as you know, so there's certain runs like stuff that I try to stay away from because I know,
bro,
yeah,
I don't know why, because like the 75, I have the 75 rookie, the Peyton, and that fits. I could actually layer underneath it. Like I could wear this hoodie underneath it. But like when it comes to that Joe Green, that 75 Vietnam run, like I couldn't even get my fucking, like I couldn't even barely get it through my head. Like I had to literally, what I had to do is I had to press my nose in, and I had to flop my ear, pull my ears down, like straight up, like, and then I had to like kind of just wiggle my way in, and I was like, yo, this shit is not.
So you have to wear like a pantyhose, like a freaking robber, and then put the jersey on.
It's like
put the stocking over his head.
Yeah.
It was like bad. So I was like, yo, like I love this jersey, but like I can't wear this shit like this. Like I gotta. So I was. Everybody was telling me on King, telling me like get the China run, because he's like I didn't have that issue. Plus he measured the neck hole for me, and the Vietnam run and the China run are off by like 1.5 inches, which is a huge ass difference.
And sometimes even the feel, like I know some people, I don't get no made in China. Sometimes I go and I try to look at stuff and you want to look for a little bit more accuracy. Like I have the China run, the last run they did is like the most famous NFL jersey that Mitchell Ness ever made, the powder blue Lance Allworth. But the newer China run is done correctly, where the older run has like the V-neck, and that season
and it's like
theirs were a round neck
They're still
in
round necks,
comparison. So even like if you, and I've seen it in hand too, the El Salvador run of the Eric Dickerson, but it just has like the V. And even though the screen print is dope, the China run they have now with like the rip neck and the way the patch sits on like the shoulder and like the body, the chest part is more correct. Where El Salvador, the patch was up on the shoulder, just little things. So it's like sometimes people
between runs. It sounds like too.
yeah, but then there's other times like I called them out, like on the straight hand. They just completely drop. You can literally just pop the tag off that and then put the, what is it, the 75th season logo, and what's that, 98? You could basically
the 99.
99. Or what you can do is, since it's twill, you can, if you could find it low enough, which will probably happen, you could just strip the fucking numbers, send it to like Sergio or somebody, and then just have him press the numbers on, and you got the jersey.
Wait, somebody could actually press. He pressed the number. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I might have to.
Hit up Sergio.
I have a project. No, because I have this. This is vintage.
I actually got to get my Junior Seau retouched
because that's like, I wish Mitchell Ness would reissue it. But the throwback Rams Jerome Bettis, the original El Salvador run, Mitchell Ness did. Yeah. Who is it? Mark. He has two. He stripped both of them, and he had one redone correctly as Bettis, and then the other one he made as Slater.
Yeah, no, I need somebody to finish this. This is a vintage, authentic Jerry Cosby custom. It's actually a Senate, McGregor Senate. It has the NFL shield on it, so it looks more like early, like 91.
Hit up Sergio. He should be able to do that.
Because the main problem would be getting a Dazzle Fabric nameplate to put reasons on the back of this one.
That's like this. I've been sitting on this for a while. The old El Salvador run of I have the 95. I like the 95 patch better, but this is a blank. But it's a size 44, which you usually don't see. So I have a bed sheet version of the same jersey. So all they got to do is just chop out the nameplate, and then I already have the kit to turn it. Originally, I wanted to do Emmitt Smith. Shout out to my guy Isaac. He had sent me a kit, but I think I would like to make Darren Woodson. He was like my favorite defensive player on the Cowboys growing up.
Charles Haley?
Darren Woodson.
Are you watching the Warriors game right now? This shit's fucking neck to neck, bro.
That's the 96 patch, right?
Yeah, but I have the 95 and like a 3X, which I'm gonna take it off, put the 95 patch, and then use
And that's what's crazy is that like you were saying how they like just switching patches Mitchell Ness could have done to make things right. Like they made the Jerry Rice 95 Pro Bowl, which he wasn't even there. And it's the same jersey as that. All they had to do is put the 96 patch on it, and it's actual jersey that makes sense.
It's accurate, yeah.
Yeah, like
but sometimes people don't want to go through. It's like if you wait for a deal, you can get it for a steal. You pop off the patch, and you can find a replacement patch for like $10 to $20. You go somewhere, maybe $10 to put it on, and you gotta,
basically telling me you find one of these patches and put it on that straight hand, then.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would customize those. That shit would be crazy.
Well, for me, as far as that goes, Mac, is I have like a 3X for this, so all I got to do is just take the 3X and have them cut the back part out, and then I got the nameplate, and then I could just basically get a kit, and then I could just pop this off, pop the other patch off, and then.
Yeah, because that's the thing that's kept me from, I know customizing is I wanted to make it error accurate. It's supposed to be. I know it's earlier than '91, but the way it was customized for whoever did it. I guess I'm thinking Cosby's did it, and back then you couldn't put names on it. So, it has a name on the back, but that's the Gary Reasons, and that's an underrated Giants, like huge underrated Giants player from those, 86 and 90 teams. And it's funny because I'm actually Facebook friends with Gary Reasons today, and I posted it on Facebook. I think I said, "Oh, my goal is to collect jerseys of Giant players that I'm actually friends with nowadays through either X or Twitter or Facebook or whatever." Including, and I showed the Gary Reasons, and Gary Reasons like, "Nah, you don't need anybody else. You already got the best one." So I want to finish.
If you could find something to give you like a name, get something like the source of nameplate for that, like Sergio could easily. I seen him
maybe get an old school replica or even another.
He took somebody had a blank Sonics jersey, early '90s with the arch, and he made it into I seen him do a Kemp and a Kendall Gill. And
Kendall Gill, that's obscure.
And he did such a good job. I forget what he called it. Thermofilm is what he uses. I remember having a conversation, but he knows how to I guess there's certain ways you can make it look more glossy. You can make it to where some of the jerseys, the mesh holes stand out or more prominent. So I remember having a discussion with him, and he was like, I could do that too.
Yeah,
all right, fellas. I don't mean to cut you guys off, but I think I'm gonna call it a night, man. I really want to watch the last minutes of this Warriors Kings game.
How good is it, man?
They're like literally neck to neck. Well, Warriors are up
92-89,
but there's 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes left. But I want to shout out everybody, again for tuning in on the 1st of November here. Just couple FYIs about this live stream, guys. This is episode 89. So after this,
we got 11 more, baby.
10 more episodes to go after this one is done.
11.
Well, because it'll be episode 90.
90 plus the 91.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, you still gotta.
Yeah, you're tripping. I got 11 more episodes after this. So sorry, it's late, guys. But I will be, marking them down. I might do one more open live before the final live stream. But
so we got to make sure we celebrate. I need to have 100 in the background.
Hell yeah,
for real. Nah, man, it's been one of those surreal moments. I didn't think this day would come, but it's every week, man. You guys make it possible, and with everything that's been going on, with the channel and even behind the scenes and all that shit, this is a memorable thing, just to be able to talk shop and shit like this. But stay tuned, guys. I mean, if you guys have any topics that you want me to talk about,
we need a pro wrestling part 2.
There's definitely one more in the in the bag, man, because I definitely want to end that on a high note.
Hijack pro wrestling.
I've been putting my money towards some other hobbies and jerseys myself. So
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of things that I want to focus my energy on other than jerseys, and even with my channel, I still post, but I really want to focus on other things on the channel, than other than putting energy into the lives and stuff like that. But you guys are the reason why we're on episode 89, and
I'll do a quick.
12-year-old
me.
Lightsaber.
Yeah, but this is like master grade. I just don't have the hilts, the blades to go into it. So this is Qui-Gon. When Phantom Menace came out, I thought
for me, it was always Maul, dude. That dual lightsaber with the red, that shit's just fucking classic, bro. But
I want to get a nice properly made Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi, that green. I don't know, man. That's still my childhood. I mean, that's my first
outside of the duel, you got to have Count Dooku's curved hilt. So I actually have another one of his coming in from. This is when he was Count, Lord Darth Tyrannus, but when he was still a Jedi.
Yeah,
I'm very much into that. He had a curved hilt, but it wasn't so
Exactly.
aggressive.
So you have like a lightsaber like hilt collection as well?
Yeah, I'm starting to do that, but these ones they're not
telling
like
you, bro.
cheap.
Like there's so many
They're
other
like
things.
money I would be spending on jerseys.
Dude,
That's
I saw somebody actually had like a 3D printer. I think it's this is our YouTube channel called Ghostbusters News.
Yeah.
Shout out to them because he printed a real Ghostbusters proton pack and Neutrino one, and I think he did the ecto goggles and the ghost strap with the freaking pedal. Like he went all out for his like real Ghostbusters costume. Like
that's what's up.
yeah, even down to like I think he
I
made like,
even
like
when we went to Disney because they
Egon.
put Coke in Star Wars, and this is actually a drink. If you like, look at the last Star Wars movie.
That's cool.
Ah,
All right, fellas. Well, thank you guys. Again, give this video a thumbs up, share this the live stream, share the channel, and I will see you guys again next Wednesday, same time, same place.
Peace.
Have a good night, guys.
Peace out. Go
Yeah,
Rangers.
too.